And action. Hello. I'm Molly Lewis, and I'm joined today by Nick Trujillo and Seth Boyer.
I'm tweeting.
Hi.
Nick is tweeting about this very stream that you're watching.
Yeah. I'm a good boy.
And today I'm going to be moving into a brand new bullet journal. I've been on the bullet journal system since July, and it's amazing. I just got a tweet from Nick saying that we're live right now. Good that Nick is concerned about the brand.
Yeah.
So we're here today because we kind of represent the sort of broader. And today I'm going to be
the gamut of a bullet journal experience.
Nick, how long have you been bullet journaling?
Since I want to say when you first shared it with me.
I started around July, so what
is that when you picked it up?
I have not stopped talking about it since, so it could have been anywhere.
I think it might have been like a month after you had kind of gotten going. And this is a newish book that I bought towards the end of the year, but really I'm excited to start it as the beginning of this coming year.
Yeah.
So, and also I've been kind of slacking on it, but that's my kind of experience with it.
Yeah, and we're both sort of creative types, and it's a very good system for distractible people and creative types, and
project-oriented people, I think, too. Like, if you have a lot of things that you're juggling and to-do lists, and you're trying to figure that out, and you may not always be as consistent with keeping up with it, and you'll see both sides, Molly's side and my side of consistency. And what I like about it is that I can stop or I can forget about it for a week and I can come back to it and it still works. Like, it doesn't like fall apart if you start missing days. You don't feel bad or guilty about it.
And there's no when you buy a regular planner, like the days are already written in, and if you miss a day, then it's just kind of sitting there like, well, you done goofed, didn't you?
Look at you.
It's shaming you.
Yeah.
It is. You're planner shaming.
See, this was my problem because I really love the Hobonichi Techo, like as a concept. Like it's a very nice little cute day planner that's designed by the guy who made Earthbound.
Yeah.
And it has little like each day has a nice little like poem or quote or proverb on it, and it's very, very cute and charming.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of it. And I 2 years in a row ordered one and used it for maybe a total of 1.5 months out of the year, and even then sporadically, because I would be really into it and then I would miss a day and like I couldn't even look at it.
You have like a backlog.
Yeah, I couldn't even look at it without feeling like I fucked up so bad. I let my journal down.
Yeah, I used to use the Hobonichi for journaling. I would like draw little pictures of like, here's what I did that day. And the Hobonichi now comes in 2 sizes in English because it's in Japanese English. And so the original one is like yay big. And the cousin is like this big, and I was like, more doodling space, excellent. But then if you miss like 2 days, it's like just this legal paper size. You missed it.
You messed up.
What happened?
I used a lot of I was app heavy. Like, I used all kinds of things, and it had to sync between all of my devices, and it had to put something on my Google Calendar. Like, all those things are still kind of useful, but this is as a daily organization method. A way to take notes, a way to do some very flexible styles of planning, like I like using the grid. Are you using a grid?
I'm on a grid. This one's dotted, my new one.
I like the dotted one too, but a grid just to be able to make simple drawings or squares or
lists,
diagrams.
like nested lists. Yeah, because I've used every to-do app on the market.
It needs to be flexible.
Like, I use 2, like the number 2 do, because it's the most granular. Like, you can attach, like, I need driving directions to this place. Remind me to get driving directions at this time. But what happened was I kind of ended up trying to program my calendars and my app to think ahead for me. And so, like, if my GPS wasn't working or something, I'd be like, phone, you were supposed to remind me when I was at Fred Meyer that I needed to. And the thing about the bullet journal is you only make as many pages as you are using. You don't really plan into the future in sort of a granular way. They're sort of a dump for like, I'll worry about this later. But it forces you to every day kind of audit, like, what do I need to do and what is important right now and what do I need to sort of migrate to later? And it makes you it keeps you sort of actively thinking about your responsibilities and sort of your obligations on the daily. And it's, like you said, it's really flexible for like doodlers and distractible people, because I have ADD and nothing has worked for me so far. And I enjoy the process of working on my bullet journal and maintaining it so much that it returns me to it, even if my actual, responsibilities make me anxious.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's something to be said about enjoying the process. And when all the things that you're putting into this book are things that are anxiety-inducing and terrifying and adult responsibilities.
Any way you can sugarcoat it.
You're just like, oh god, this is just, I don't even want to type this out. But then you're like, oh, but I get to be in here for a little bit. This is fun. I want to do this.
So you're saying that you have to trust the process, is what you're saying?
Yeah,
I'm just making sure.
Well, Seth, you haven't bullet journaled at all.
So the funny thing is, I think it was before this was. Like when did this like kick off in terms of like popularity? Was that like this year, last year?
This year, yeah, because it was developed by a dude named Ryder Carroll, who is this guy out of Brooklyn. It was developed in like the last 5 years, I want to say. And his system actually looks a lot like Nick's system. Just, kind of make a bulleted list of stuff you got to do every day. And I certainly became involved with there's the sort of Tumblr, Instagram, Pinterest side of bullet journaling.
Yeah.
Aspirational journaling.
Yeah.
It's very performative, which is... I was sort of like thumbing through like, well, what can I show off on the stream? And a lot of it is like really personal stuff that I don't feel comfortable showing off. But like, it's easy to get daunted, right?
Yeah.
Because like people are using washi tape and like, fancy coordinated highlighters and, it's easy to go like, well, I am not a disciplined enough person to do that. But like, the bare bones of the system are really good and just people sugarcoat it.
So the funny thing is in like 2012, I was playing a lot of shows back in Anchorage, and I was playing like around like an average of 2 shows a week, like at dive bars in Anchorage and stuff on like Tuesday nights, like things like that. But I was playing enough that I was like, I need to be like documenting this.
Yeah.
And I was doing a lot of work musically, and I was feeling like it was almost backwards from like planning a to-do list. It was like I was doing all these things and I was just charting them. And I had this exact style journal of like the gridded moleskin, and I was like moleskine. I was
fighting.
No, we all have moleskine.
I made just like a gridded calendar, and then was going in, and each day was a checkbox.
Yeah.
And I had a little like legend of, okay, well, if it's a single X, that means that I worked on a song and got like half of a song done.
Yeah.
If it's scribbled in all the way, that means I played a show.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it was like an X, it means I finished a song that day. And like I had that going for like a year and a half, and it was really good. And then I lost that notebook.
Oh, no.
And so I feel like I've done a version of this before, and that's why I wanted to jump back in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be starting from scratch.
Okay. Well, let's go to document cam, I guess, and you can move all my dang pens out of the way.
We got all them pens.
We can walk through these pens at a later time. I sort my pens into what I call families. So this is the bullet journal. It's a lot of pens. It makes it very satisfying.
Yeah.
Is this ASMR? I don't know.
No.
Is it? But so this is my BuJo. You'll notice there's a Dungeons and Dragons logo on the front. I actually got this
Bungeons and Dragons.
from Wizards. They brought me in to play, I think, Scott Kurtz's D&D module that he made, and they gave out these notebooks to take notes in. Ironically, like, because I'm so app focused with my personal planning, I was kind of resistant to the idea of bullet journaling because I was like, well, it's a pen and paper thing, and surely there's better technology that exists.
And the video like looked very gentrified Brooklyn guy that came in.
Yeah, like this unfinished wood table.
Yeah.
We're disrupting the idea of a digital calendar.
Yeah. But I take my D&D notes on my iPad. Is the irony there?
Well, same, because it has the counters and stuff, and like, yeah.
I have to change. I don't want to erase things.
No.
No.
Yeah,
And so, is there anything confidential here? No. So, there's the sort of core. You can go to bulletjournal.com for sort of a breakdown of the original system, but it's basically just, here's the thing you got to do. Here's just a note about what happened today. Here's the thing you're going to do later. Here's the thing you're going to do way later. And I have obviously elaborated on that system kind of substantially. And sort of the reason I'm not actually done. I have a bunch of empty pages at the end, but I kind of feel like I've gotten sort of bogged down by all this tabbed stuff I'm not going to use. But so I have to-do items, which are just like, once you start it, it's done. I have tasks, which are things you have to focus on and like kind of, you can do it completely. And then I have a special pen for marking things as complete. And so I have, when I do something with this pen, what does that mean? And it's about, because like, I don't procrastinate out of a place of laziness. I procrastinate out of a place of, I don't want to do that right now. And so my bullet journal has become not just a place to organize myself, but a place to write down things that I don't want to forget. Like here are TV shows I'm in the process of watching, and I'm very proud of this. Here's a reusable packing list.
Oh wow!
Of like all the crap I normally need to pack, and so I have like little circles and dashes for I need this trip, I don't, and so here we have New York, Portland, Tennessee, Desert Bus, and I've made sort of a note for when I copy this over to my next bullet journal, which I'm not going to do today.
Things to add.
Changes I want to make. I have now a set of symbols for like, this is meta talking about bullet journal in the bullet journal. That's what these little brackets mean.
Yeah.
So here's here's the other thing is I spent so much time in my early sort of bullet journal, like organizing, like here's stuff I have to do for Waffle Media and stuff for Patreon and stuff for YouTube that I wasn't planning time to like treat myself.
Yeah.
And so I decided if I called it enrichment, I might actually do it. So
treat it like a job, right?
Treat it like a job. So I've really been slacking on finishing books and going to the zoo, obviously, but my work life has never been better. So, so here's.
Let's maybe dig in. Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, no. So, so the bullet journal is broken into, I want to say 4 sort of core parts, and maybe we can sort of show Nick's and mine.
Let's show, because I have the core. Mine is very.
Yours is very, I would say, minimal. It's
almost
very minimalist.
Almost to the letter. It's what the base.
What the
was.
dude recommended.
Yeah, and I've been out of this for like a month, and I want to get back because again, it's only when I'm really getting in there. Sorry.
Get up in this.
Slide that up in that.
Yeah.
All right. So the first thing is your index, and this is. As you create pages, you'll write down the page numbers and where they are and exactly what they are. And for the pages that I have filled, and this is a roughly new book, bottom left corner, that's where I keep the page numbers. The next thing is your future log. And your future log is, again, when you start with just the bare bones, it's just 3 divided sections, individualized months. Things that you're going to kick over to here that are things that you want to complete later on. These are things that you're thinking about in your future, not just your day-to-day situation. On this page is just your basic month. I go down, number each day, the day of the week it is. I was using a line to keep track of what day of the week I was on because I very frequently forget what day of the week it is.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
And then some of the tasks that I've migrated over there, and migration is kind of the core of this. And I guess you could do that by getting to the day-to-day. The day-to-day is just the day of the week, and the date, the things I need to do today, and they can be categorized in a lot of different ways. I was using to-do, task, fun, but they all just ended up being amalgamized to me into things that I just needed to do, so I just ended up making them all dots. So the interesting and wonderful thing about this is that when you get to the end of a month or even get to the end of a week and you want to kick some things off and look at the things that maybe you didn't finish or accomplish, then you can kick these back over to either your month list if you have it on a day-to-day basis, or over back towards your future log, and then you can put stuff down here. 2017. Whoa. So for instance, all the stuff that I didn't finish in November, and I haven't started December's yet, I can kick over into December and say, okay, here's all the things that I want to do. And they kind of kick over into this secondary list next to your month of other assignments or projects or things that you have yet to get done. The beauty in this for me is being able to there's nothing secret in here. Being able to go into project or idea-based categorization and then be able to document on your
index,
on your own index, and it's flexible enough that I can do this project-based, I can do this wide-angle-based. So for big things like Waffle stuff, things that I'm always going to have in the back of my head in one way or the other, or Twitch stuff, things that I want to accomplish with my Twitch things and have that checklist available to me. It's all like here, and then if I wanted to sort it into day-to-day things that I can bring, it happens on that page as well.
And it's forgiving in 2 different ways, because it's forgiving in that you're like, oh, if I have to write this down, there's just an empty page available for whatever you need. Yeah. And if you just need a thing once and you're like, I goofed that up, or I don't really need that anymore, you can just move past it.
In my old book, I had a random notes and a random project idea for things that I just couldn't really categorize. So like as an artist, I'll be sitting in the shower and I'll think of, oh man, it'd be really cool if I did this, but I don't have time to do it now, so I want to sort it away. And it would just go in the random project idea. So like if I ever had free time and I just wanted to spend time creatively, I could pull that up as a note. This is the most basic of base framework that you can start with.
It's the core system.
It's the core system. If you go to...
I have a bunch of mods in mine.
So you can go hard in the other way and end up in bullet hell.
Yeah. See, I'm in kind of like touch the Skyrim rain with my...
We're fighting?
Yeah, we're fighting.
We're fighting
multiple times.
Crop him out. Just pan the camera away from him.
Mute the mics now.
If you go to, what's the website?
It's just bulletjournal.com.
If you go to bulletjournal.com and watch the little introductory video, that's very akin to what I have going on here. And that will give you the basic framework. I think we're not going to get that deep into just the base framework, but to show kind of what it's capable of.
Yeah. And because the learning curve for me, because I also had kind of a brush with bullet journal, but I used a notebook that was like this size, like little.
That's how I started too, and it was just no.
And this actually, I recommissioned this because I love buying blank journals and I love buying pens and I love buying Post-its. And so...
Who, you?
Are there people who don't? Like, are there people who don't get that same thrill? Like...
I'm gonna annotate
compulsively, like if I see okay, I don't even draw that much. I don't doodle that often because I'm terrible at it, which is again why I don't do it that often, and also why I'm terrible at it.
Let me posit that there's no such thing as being bad at doodling.
Sure.
Yeah. No. Actually, true. Functionally true.
Well, yeah, but I look back on my doodles and I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Like, it's abstract even to me.
Just a little
on a
warm-up.
handwriting level. Yeah, just a little warm up of the day. Hashtag.
Sometimes you just need to understand it for that moment, and then it's gone forever.
Yeah,
it's graffiti. It's doodle graffiti.
But like, even, despite that, I will see a sketchbook or like a blank notebook and be like, oh god, I need that. Like, and then you just look at it and you're like, oh god, what am I going to put on the first page of this? And then, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like, I never use the first like 2 or 3 pages of any notebook because there's too much pressure.
Yeah. And you have a bunch of, because this has been the nice thing about the bullet journal system is because I'm very into like layouts and stuff. I can use all my blank notebooks that started with like, well, here's what I'm gonna, nope, not what I'm gonna use this for. And I use them to like prototype spreads for future.
Idea.
They're your rough draft notebooks.
They are. This one literally says bullet journal drafts on the front.
Wow.
Because this was my first encounter. So I made like an index and I put all the parts in without understanding how they work together.
Yeah.
And so, I wrote, first trial, inconclusive, notebook too small. No mind to/knowledge of layouts and no joy. Or the notes I wrote to myself. So
it's important to have joy in there.
Because I really like the development process. That's the thing that keeps me back, sort of coming back to it.
It's funny, despite being somebody who paints and draws for a living, how very little doodling I do. When it comes to like my books, I'm just like, nah.
Nope.
No, as much handwriting as possible.
You're all drawn out.
I'm all drawn out.
How's the chat doing?
The chat's doing great. We got a bunch of buds in there.
Do you have any quick questions?
Thanks, Jamie. I love my sweater too.
Let's be honest, if I had so much stuff I needed to, that journal would help, but I'd probably just shut down entirely.
I mean, and that's sort of the thing about it is like, and that's why I am moving out of this not quite full journal into a new one is it's more than I need. I sort of got excited about like, I can track everything, quantify my entire, it's like a Fitbit that I have to maintain actively. And so I'm trying to move into something a little more lightweight. Yeah. And just, you can shed any parts of the system that don't work for you. There's no wrong way. Just the only right way to bullet journal is the way that works for you.
Yeah. And like, even if it's something as simple as, I think in my old journal, I was keeping notes on, what's that game with the puzzles?
Oh, The Witness.
The Witness, yeah. I was keeping witness notes, and it was perfect for it because I had a grid paper, and I'm just
nice.
This is great. This works
just
out.
Write out all the dots.
Write things, and I had like thoughts and ideas.
That's actually a great use case for one of these little things that I can't stop.
Video
buying.
game notes, valid. Wow. How to beat that raid boss.
Well, and like I have a bunch of projects coming up like that are like ramping up into production right now.
Yeah.
And also 2017's coming up, thank God.
Yeah.
And like it's a really, really good time to like start a new thing, I feel like especially a better time than January 1st. January 1st is the worst time to start anything. So like get ahead of the ridiculous notion of like New Year's resolutions and just start now.
Start now. Andrew says, Seth, I'm kind of like that too. I go out of my way to avoid handwriting or drawing as much as possible. My handwriting looks like a child's, and since I started dealing with tendonitis, it got harder to write even small amounts.
Oof. Yeah, that's...
Just feed your journal through a typewriter.
Yeah, typewriter, bullet journal.
And honestly, like the way I would do it is I would, I wouldn't do it every day, but when I was doing like something similar to bullet journaling, I didn't actually end up writing that much. I did notice like if I did and I was like scribbling like more than like one or two little ideas or going over a calendar or a chart, like my hand would start cramping up because you don't use your hand to write nearly as often these days, or I don't anyway. But it's usually like after that first initial setup, like it was pretty low key in terms of like hand stress for me anyway.
Here's a really, really good question. Fugi asks, how do you determine what is worth writing down? I'm going to throw this to Molly. Do you track everything that crosses your mind, or you track only bigger ideas?
Well, let's... so here's what... Let me see what I have.
This is a good segue into
So I've got... Like I said, I have, like... Here's enrichment stuff I want to do for myself. Here is...
Self-care.
Here's self-care. Here is... Let me see. I've written down... Yeah, no, this was my desert bus spread, actually, Fugi. So I meant to, like... Because what I do, so I don't fall off the system entirely, is, instead of, like, a schedule, which is what this is, and so I have, like, the macro I call, and Jen and Trin and Seth, and I have those things, meal tracking, all that stuff. And this is what my weekly looks like now. I used to have... There's all this stuff that I didn't feel the need to track anymore, but you can just kind of, if you're like, you know what, I don't need to meal track anymore, then the next weekly you make
You just stop.
Just screw it. Don't do it anymore. And so I didn't want to do like a big elaborate like daily thing for Desert Bus because I knew I wouldn't keep on it. So I was like, I'll just make a, an itemized list of like stuff that I did that was worth remembering. And I don't know if you can see, I said, I sang I'll Make a Man Out of You, made it onto the poster, jumped off a couch, and then wrote nope with a big old line. And then this is just like stuff that people told me to Google when I got home.
Yeah.
And I nerfed my Twitter because it was hard to look at Twitter. And so these are just Twitter feeds of cute animals and Twitter feeds of like pictures of robots and other. And so like just anything that, because if I put it in my phone, it's going to get buried in an app and I'm never going to see it again.
Yeah.
And if I feel it's worth coming back to, then I have an index. I can check out the page number.
Yeah.
As you can see, I'm kind of crushing it on my Desert Bus homework,
There you
actually.
go. You smashed it.
Yeah. But yeah, and because it's just a blank notebook, there's really you just like waste a page, but it's not like the same punishment as like when you don't use a page in a regular planner and then it's just this dated page you'll never use again.
What's great about it is that they took the idea of a blank notebook and gave you just the barest bones of framework, like just the base foundation for you to build everything else on. So you get to determine what is important for you to write down, what is important to keep track of, how to keep track of it, and it just gave you an index and a way to ferry that information in between different pages. For me, I woke up every morning and I had a list of things I needed to do at all times, and there's a list of new things that came. And because I work freelance, projects come and go very quickly. I'll work on something intensely for 3 to 5 days, and then it's out of my life forever. So having a way to determine, wake up in the morning, cook breakfast, get myself in order, and then sit down with my journal and think about what I wanted to do that day. And if it seemed like there was something that was going to take a little bit longer than just the day, then it get ferried over to the week, week's goals. If it was a big project, then it get ferried over to month's goals. If it looked like I wasn't going to accomplish something, instead of saying, oh, dang, I'm never going to finish that, then I can just say, you know what, this is maybe something I can accomplish in January. So I'm going to write it down in January, just in the broad scope. And then when I come back into the daily scope and I open the month of January again, I say, oh, look, here's some things that I thought that maybe I can accomplish. Which one of these can I ferry over to the weekly, to the daily? And that's the beauty of it, is that if you consistently do it, you'll start to gravitate, I feel, towards writing certain things down rather than others.
Yeah, and like with regard to like the dichotomy between writing something down in a physical deal and like the app, for me, like the thing that's helpful about writing something down is just the act of writing something down, like plants the seed in my subconscious. It might not be a thing I remember on a day-to-day, so then if it's like a thing like, hey, I have a doctor's appointment on whatever, like I can't go to the doctor, what am I talking about? If I had like an appointment or like a call or a meeting that I can't like forget, then I go in my phone after writing it down and I say, all right, well, here's a reminder or an alarm that's like, yes, like buzz my phone device thing that is in my pants and it's going to like be like, hey, pay attention, you have to do this thing. But at very least, that won't be so much of a shock or surprise because I will have already planted that seed in my subconscious by writing it down.
Yeah, but and it's like sort of the process that Nick was describing is you kind of have to meditate on your to-do list. It's not just a single like list with no hierarchy. There's kind of you have to sort of individually think about like what is important and what do I need to focus on right now and what can I not worry about right now.
What I really liked was being able to ship things off on a, because one of the nice things about some of the to-do lists I was gravitating towards, like Clear and the apps and stuff like that, was getting the sense of accomplishment and understanding of the things that I got to accomplish at that day, no matter how small or how big they were, and those were kind of nice. The tough part is looking at all the stuff that you didn't finish and kind of feeling shameful about it. Like maybe you just had a bad brain day and all you can do is do laundry, so you just missed like a day's worth of things that you could have done, and that felt bad because it was on your to-do list. What's nice, and this came from therapy as well, was whatever you feel like you couldn't do that day, that's okay. You just move it on to another day, or you move it into another space where maybe when you have a better day, you can accomplish that. So this being friendly to that and not saying that, well, here's all these empty boxes. Instead, they become arrows. They become like directions, and even in the video, like he said, here's a thing that you didn't, you needed to migrate somewhere else. You put a little arrow there, so it's moved somewhere else rather than just, oh well, not beans.
And I will say they call it the bullet journal and not the bullet planner, because the most valuable thing for me has been when at the end of a day, when I'm just kind of feeling like, well, I'm just a bag of farts that didn't do anything today, I can look at my bullet journal and be like, no, this morning I set out to do laundry and email this guy I don't want to email and leave the house.
It's every email.
And I did,
even if you didn't leave the house, if you did the other two things.
Yeah, it was like I didn't email that guy, but I did leave the house, and I did do laundry, and I did make that phone call I didn't want to make, and you have like a tangible record of you did do stuff today, you dummy,
Yeah.
And it's easy to kind of be hard on yourself, but you have a thing that you curated that says no. It's you from the past, and you did accomplish something. Yeah.
I also definitely get the same feeling from writing things down in a physical notebook as I kind of do from like SAT prep and studying. Yeah. Like from back in the day, like the notion that, you read all of the answers completely before you even start like thinking about writing down the right one, because your brain will start doing the work in like background processes of like, my brain will start thinking about that like one project that I thought, this would be a dumb idea. Yeah. And then like a month later, when I haven't returned to the thought at all, but it's in my notebook and I've seen it maybe once or twice and I remember writing it down, like I'll be like, this will go nicely with that. And like, I don't know, those synapses will connect themselves over time in the background a little bit. That's kind of nice.
Danny Page asks,
I love Danny Page.
Do you have one core journal that means everything, or do you use multiple journals for each topic or personal business? I think it's one for everything, right?
Well, I have
for this though, I guess.
In the core system, yeah. I've sort of strayed from the norm a little bit because I have a full-size journal, and because the system as it is at the sort of core is there's your future log, your index, and your monthly, and then your dailies. Yeah. And I also make a weekly spread. That helps me a lot.
Yeah, I wanted to start doing that.
Weekly spreads are great, and it's probably my favorite. I don't know what my monthly spread looks like. I've spent a lot of time You get to practice the weekly spread a little more.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Mine's a little more sophisticated in its development, but I've actually moved to my daily reminders are in this thing, which is a passport notebook that Ben got me. And so it fits a little field notes thing, and that's because I found that this was hard to carry around, and I often wouldn't.
Yeah.
But I can just put this in a coat pocket and take it to the store. And so I put let's see, here we go. I got make overlay for bullet journal stream.
Check that one off. Get the right pen.
Checkity check. Here's my checking off pen.
God, nothing feels better than checking something off of a list.
Yeah. I don't have Rogue One tickets, so I'll do that tomorrow. For breakfast, I had cereal. Good. Great. So, and this is, okay, we're getting into the weeds now. This is my mom got me a brick of these for Christmas a couple years ago, and they fit perfectly over a field notes thing. And I use it for stuff that I need to send back to the main journal. Oh. It's kind of my inbox.
That's your outbox.
That's my outbox, yeah.
That's great.
But so I got, fuck you, 2016.
So this is your walking around journal?
This is my walking around. This is just dailies and like, if I need like addresses, if I'm going to go ship something, I'll put little Post-its with like, here are the addresses of, the people I'm going to mail things to. And I have a card in here that says "Stop talking." I don't know why I would need it, but it's there in case I need it. A bunch of "Didn't vote for Trump" stickers, because I can't tell you how many times like people have seen that sticker on my wallet and gone like, "Where'd you get that?" And I'll be like, "I have some. Would you like some?" Yes.
I have it on my laptop, and I get asked it a lot now.
Yeah. But that's just because carrying around. I don't carry a book bag around normally, and so I needed something a little smaller. And also, I really like buying field notes notebooks, and needed a use case for them.
Yeah.
But generally, people. Also, my job is I do a lot of errands and sort of outings for my job, and so I needed something a little more portable and accessible. But a lot of people are perfectly happy with just. And I also need to be constantly reminded of the stuff I have to do.
Yes.
Is the other thing.
Yeah.
I can't just remember, here's why I walked into this room.
I go to the store for a thing and leave without getting the thing because I've gotten distracted and bought all the other things.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's a daily issue.
I would recommend to
It's real.
the struggle is real. No, I would recommend, because sort of the thing that unlocked bullet journaling conceptually for me was there's a bullet journal YouTube channel where the dude that sort of invented the system explains just here's how you set up a bullet journal, and he talks you through all the parts. And then on that same channel there is, I want to say it's like the 2016 update, and it was at the beginning of this year. And he was like, so this is my journal for next year. I've added a couple things, I'd like to show them to you. And it was just like he wanted to track whether or not he had meditated that day, and he wanted to track like meals.
Yeah.
And so it looked a lot like this, but like Nick's journal, but it just had like an extra column that he had made.
Yeah.
And that's when I went, oh, you can add things.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I see how the parts, okay. And then I went to, there's a channel called Boho Berry, which is this supremely organized lady who like just draws like freehands like mandalas with like, you know, fine tip Sharpie like NBD.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, giant like cursive quotes and things. And that's where I was like, okay, so that's the way other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I can fall somewhere in
You
the
can
middle
fall
there.
somewhere in the
Gotcha.
middle.
Okay. So I'd recommend, I have a playlist I made on YouTube specifically for like when a friend goes, hey, I'm thinking about bullet journaling. What do you, just whoop. So I will link that on the Twitch feed after the show. Any more questions?
There's a lot of questions.
A lot of questions.
If you want, we can field questions, or we can get into the book.
This is just gonna be sort of grunt work on.
Yeah,
on
we
my
probably
part.
do both at the same time.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
so I'll get started. Here's how fresh my.
It's got the cardboard backing.
We are
on it
doing
even.
like setup. I also didn't realize I'd ordered a soft. Is this ASMR? I don't know. Should I do this on my?
As she's opening, we'll go ahead and get to another question real quick. Let's see. What works for you? Andrew asks, what works for you with regards to helping maintain the habit of writing it in? I stumble there a lot with these systems. As somebody who also stumbles a lot with the keeping up of the consistency of it, it became for me when I'm on with it, and I'm not always on with it. When it becomes a part of my daily habit, when I integrate it into the thing that I normally do. So I wake up, like I said, every morning, take the dog out, cook breakfast, and get ready, and then I start my day. In between starting my day and all of that, I put bullet journaling in, and when I became aware of that I was doing it, and I became aware that it was a thing, it was a part of my morning routine, then it became something that was easier for me to keep up with. And the thing that I keep expressing and coming back to whenever Molly talks about this is I fall off of it all the time. I'll skip a day, I'll skip a week, I'll skip, I've skipped an entire month sometimes. But it feels good that you can always come back to it when you feel like you need it to be there for you. So it's just like how do you make good habits? You try to make good habits.
And like if you have the thing that has also worked for me for integrating certain habits into my daily life that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to do is using the things that I do make a habit out of every single morning. And my thing is always it's the worst habit. I should make a habit of getting this habit out.
It's drinking 3 shots before breakfast.
It's no, that's good for your voice.
Kiss that egg.
Ooh, lovely.
Ooh, nice.
Kiss that BuJo egg.
I look at my damn phone. Like
Yeah.
my alarm goes off on my phone, and I'm like, I'll go put on my glasses. I'm still like kind of dreary-eyed. It's like, well, let's open Twitter. This is a great, healthy way to start my day. It's a bad habit.
It's a bad habit.
I actually put a post-it note on my alarm clock. Yo, don't read Twitter for an hour.
Oh God, I need to do that.
That I should do as well. But the thing that did help with adding habits is, at least on the iPhone, I'm pretty sure you can do it on like the stock Android alarm clock too. You can label your alarms. And I always label my alarm the first thing that I should do that morning. Yeah. And so a really nice thing would be, hey, first thing you have to do if you don't have to take a dog out immediately or like wake up a kid, like or if the kid is waking you up, you can make the alarm. Hey, what's in your journal today?
Yeah.
Like, and then like that is the first thing that you look at rather than And I should also say parenthetical, don't look at Twitter.
Yeah, parenthetical. I need to don't look at Twitter a lot.
Don't look at Twitter.
Because it's really easy to get in a 2-hour pillow hole.
Yeah.
I have some.
This isn't bullet journal related, but one of the ways that I started dealing with that was to take it from my easy access place and bury it in like
folders.
Yep.
So that basically by the time I get halfway there, I go, wait, why do I really want to do this?
Yeah, his Twitter app is in a folder called Anxiety Pile,
Yeah.
which is, I think, a great reminder.
Mine's the one called Content.
Yeah, mine's called Not Porn.
Let's christen this bad boy.
Okay, so here we go.
Name Molly. Oh, goofed up already.
Did you?
Molly Lewis.
That's how you spell your name.
That's really not my best handwriting, but okay, I'm gonna get my elbow down in here. All right, so we have the nice thing about this fancy pants German journal that I ordered is the dot grid is pretty nice,
I love the
but
dot grid.
it's got page numbers.
Oh, already built in. Holler at your boy.
Because I don't know if I have dysgraphia or what's going on, but like so many times I misnumbered this journal and had to white out the numbers and try again. There's nothing more discouraging than like, okay, I can't even do numbers good. Why am I pretending to be a grown up? Okay, so
Now watch this be misprinted.
Yeah.
In regard to the numbers.
that's not how you spell content. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to get out the good pens. Here we go.
Whomp. Get that
And-
out of here.
Yeah. And I'm going to...
On the YouTube video, this will have the sparkle overlay. And
A blingy, yeah. I find the Copic markers are real bad for bullet journal. They just bleed through like immediately.
yeah, pick pen. Just like when you're testing soaps on your carpet. Find an inconspicuous place to test your pen to make sure it doesn't bleed through the other side. Or is it conspicuous place? I don't remember.
So
You want inconspicuous.
Inconspicuous.
in my last...
Conspicuous would be right in the middle of the first
testing
page.
soaps on your carpet. Like soaps you wash your body with?
Yeah. All right, well, I have the Dove and I have
Why
the
would you
Irish
test that
Spring.
on your carpet?
No,
Why is
it's
that
carpet
section-
cleaner.
Okay.
There we go.
Well, you know like the herbal essences commercials? Like...
Yes.
Where somebody
go
does herbal
on.
essences and everyone's like, oh man, that person's so fuckable now, herbal essences, you know, like just you have
I
like
always thought, I remember like the original ones where it was just women just like having a good time in the shower.
yeah.
Like I didn't realize that there was like
I washed my hair
just-
with that shampoo and I didn't feel anything that good.
No.
it smelled like apricots though.
Yeah, it smelled great.
Yeah, I had a friend who she would. This stream brought to you by Herbal Essences. She would wash with that shampoo, and then we were in show choir together, and she would stand in front of the fan, and she was like, "I'm just gonna herbal essensify the room right now," and we were like, "Thank you, you're doing a public service."
It's like a walking Febreze.
Basically, yeah. So I'm gonna put just all of 2017, just a calendar here, because I ended up scrapping two of my index pages. In favor of testing out symbols for things because I'm very symbols driven, and then sort of just because I forget what day of the week a month starts on.
And sometimes somebody's like, "Hey, November 30th, let's do this thing." And you're like, "That's Friday."
I can't think that far ahead.
Yeah. Also, is there a 30th in November? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I think there is.
All right, so. All right, well, let's let chat pick a color. What colors we got here? All right.
Narrow it down. Give them like 3 or 4 to choose from.
Here are your choices.
We got
First one in the chat wins it.
I think
first one in the
for
chat.
January, let's go with blue. I think actually, well, I might.
No, this is your journal. You make the
I
choices.
retain veto power.
There you go.
All right.
While Molly's writing, let's go to another question. Related, how do you distinguish between long-term amorphous should-get-done things that have no real deadlines, or worse, self-imposed deadlines, God, I know that, and stuff with actual deadlines that other people depend on?
Oh, son of a gun.
I think symbols are a really good way to do that, like Molly uses. I think having a way to denote whether it's color of ink or a symbol to categorize that.
Oh, son of a...
You okay there?
I goofed it already.
Oh man, dropping the ball.
There's no such thing as January 7th does not come before. Oh well.
Excuse me. So having that to
I'm gonna get to
distinguish,
that
having
later.
a way to distinguish some. The beauty of this is, you find something that works for you and utilize that to the utmost strength. I use little different types of checkboxes. If it's a task, if it's something that is a contract work, or if it's my own personal advancement,
Yeah.
Sometimes you can denote an entire page to that. Like,
Yeah, I use different colors of highlighter for. I have like desk job stuff. I have production stuff. I have I use the Pomodoro system.
Yeah, I use that.
You set the little egg timer.
Yep.
And so I have like, this is stuff that I should probably set an egg timer for. And then I now have chores, which are just like grunt work I don't want to do. And that includes like, doing the dishes or emailing that guy I don't want to email. And so I have like a color-coded system, so I can look at my day and be like, okay, so this is a project day, and I will work on my projects for this day. This is a home maintenance kind of admin day.
Sometimes you'll get to a small a thing that you think is a small list or a small project, and it balloons up, and you end up needing, instead of just a small to-do list, you need to dedicate a page or a section or an entire category to that, and
that's totally valid.
That's totally valid.
The flexibility there is the appealing thing to me about this.
Yeah.
Rather than like in the Hobonichi kind of system where it was like, okay, well here today I worked on this and I have like 18 different things to do, and okay, there's a little square about that big for me to like write in, and it's also like 9 to midnight or whatever.
Yeah.
And like that's not gonna work. Okay.
Yeah. I will white that out later. I think I'm gonna just overrule whatever the chat says and go pink.
Yeah, you go. You go.
I will go. And I generally, my bullet journal is a little more high maintenance than I would say the average. But it's relaxing to me in the way I imagine knitting is relaxing to a person who can knit, Yeah. Just at the end of the day, I have like my little setup next to my bed, and I sort of review what I did that day, and I review what needs to get did. And just that it's sort of like an audit of all the stuff I have to do. And I find it relaxing. I find it kind of a nice way to get sort of closure on the day and sort of feel motivation and sort of purpose for the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me it was never like, dear diary, today but it was like, oh, okay, here's how much I've actually gotten done work-wise this week, and
it's
in a really
satisfying.
quantifiable format.
It's really satisfying if you're writing down the things that you when you get to the end of the day. And one thing that I started to do was to
just a normal pen, normal style.
What?
Normal pen I can use that's a normal
Oh.
normally
this
kind of
guy.
pen.
All of my pens are special, Seth. What are you saying?
There's no normal. But if they're all special, does that mean none of them are?
I guess that's a good point. They're special because I bought them.
One thing I started doing was bookending. Instead of just doing the journaling at the end of the day or beginning of the day, was to also cap the day off with kind of reviewing and seeing what I needed to migrate over to tomorrow or something that ended up being bigger than I thought it was. So making time.
Goodbye. Time to die.
Oh no.
Time to die mistakes. And the thing I'm realizing too is in my old BuJo, I did this calendar on a gridded page.
Yeah.
And I'm freehanding it on this one.
Yeah.
Which is not a calculation I had done, but I've committed real hard to this page being here. So
you know what? It has character now.
I'll be like, remember when I goofed up my bullet journal in front of a bunch of friends? Goodbye. Get out. And these pens are not. This one leaked on an airplane and got green all over my hands.
Not good. You were saying that they aren't the greatest on.
Oh, they aren't the greatest
flights.
on airplanes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, these are going to be all over the place. Here's a fun little hack for doing month spreads. Is Thursdays in the middle. I do Monday to Sunday weeks. So you put Thursday in the middle.
Yeah.
And
then you have equal distance.
I mean, it's better to draw thirds than sevenths.
No, I do this when I'm freehanding something that needs to be measured or cut into halves or thirds or something like that.
I'm going to get into grandpa stance.
There you go.
There we go.
Get into the crouch.
Yeah.
Molly is ready to pounce on the BuJo.
I used to, but we have a picture of my mom and her sister and my grandpa all sitting at the breakfast table like this. It runs in my family. I'm supposed to have bad posture.
Yeah.
The chat could tell me what day of the week March starts on. Wednesday? Thanks, March. Thanks, guys.
They're on a delay.
No, it's Schmur's Day. It's a new day.
You should make a new day, Schmur's Day. I like Schmur's Day. It can be between Monday and Tuesday, maybe. Yeah. Monday, Schmur's Day, Tuesday. Yeah, that sounds good.
That works for me.
That works.
I really feel like we need another day in the week.
It changes. I got a feeling. Monday, Schmur's Day, Tuesday.
I was thinking the Beatles song, I Got a Feeling, and then my heart just sank
Monday,
when I realized you were talking about the...
Friday,
Oh no,
Saturday.
you know the single most popular single of all time in terms of numbers?
Is it really?
I'm pretty sure it's outsold. I mean, it's outsold every number that I care about.
Wait, what song are we talking about?
That's upsetting.
I Got a Feeling by the Black Eyed Peas.
Oh God.
That's
I
upsetting.
got a feeling.
Woo hoo.
Sometimes you gotta feel like it's gonna be a good day. Can you put Schmurz Day in the weekend for more weekend days, perhaps?
That's a good idea.
Oh, that's a better
That's a very
idea.
good point.
Well,
Who's-
my thought was you put Schmurz Day after Monday, and then you push Monday into weekend territory. So that way Monday stops getting the bad press that it gets.
Yeah.
You know,
Garfield could like it
You
again.
know, Mondays have been traditionally,
I'm worried about Garfield.
culturally despised, and really that's not Monday's fault. It just, happens to exist there. And I think if we get some good PR, slide it over into the weekend, maybe
It was just in the wrong place and the wrong time.
hashtag save Monday.
What is not all Mondays.
Hashtag taking back Monday.
God damn it.
You're welcome. And with that, I'm out.
I got a brown.
Well, Danny Page will appreciate that joke at
Danny
least.
Page will
Yeah.
appreciate that joke.
Oh, God.
All right, so I went really into the weeds and my mom got me a pack of like 8 of these.
Yeah.
For a different Christmas, I think. And so I made a scale model
Yeah.
of
You're like,
my initial spread just to make sure I liked where everything was.
yeah, that's great. You were a designer.
I'm nothing if not methodical.
Like
Deeply-
you made thumbnails of your notebook design. And
I
that's
did.
great. Oh my fucking god! I didn't appreciate that joke. It's Friends Day. Friends Day. I like Friends Day. Thursday, Friends Day. Monday, Tuesday.
I like
Wednesday,
Schmoose Day, though. That's a good.
Schmooze Day.
I know. Corey meant to say Schmurz Day, but Schmoose Day is much better.
Smooch Day.
Happy Schmus Day, Eeyore. Happy Schmus Day, Roo.
Oh, okay.
Abriel.
My workmates have told me it is Wednesday, the day you wear a onesie.
Oh,
What?
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh,
That if that's a day of the week, then we get that every week. I'm about that life.
yeah.
I'm about that life.
Or like there's Wednesday and then Wednesday observed.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Okay, so by process of elimination, April starts on a Wednesday. God, I hope so.
Oh,
Does March have 28 days or does it have 30?
March does have 30 days. That's a very good point. I'm just gonna make that an exclamation point because we're just hyped
Yeah,
about
we're
Wednesday.
really excited. We're
That's where
excited about
Schmurz Day's
April.
gonna go.
Danny Page says I'm gonna make damn sure that I remember that one, and then apologize,
No, March
which
is 31.
which
March
makes
is
me
Sunday.
think that was a
April
Taking
is
Back Sunday joke that I flew over my head because I never
January is also 31.
I never
correct?
took back Sunday.
Yes. You never took
I never took back
You
Sunday.
never took it back. But we're gonna take back Monday. Hashtag take back Monday.
I like that. I can't recommend the gridded. Like the Dots probably work in a similar faction, but the gridded notebook is clutch here.
Yeah, it's
because
so good.
I can't.
I'm discovering that now, trying to freehand a dang grid.
Yeah, well, and I can't freehand anything ever. So having like the guidelines, even for writing, is super helpful.
Yeah. It made my writing a lot better just having lines to.
And it's, because I have a lot of lists and sub-lists and subtasks, and I guess I need to decide if I want to just migrate. Because at bulletjournal.com, they sell it's actually just a one of these, but in English, like a bullet journal brand bullet journal. And they're very forward about, like, you don't need to use a bullet journal brand bullet journal to bullet journal.
Yeah.
How many times, is somebody counting how many times we say bullet journal in this dang thing?
What exactly is a bullet journal, by the way? It's what we're talking about right now.
It's actually more of an operating system than it is an actual journal, I think is the thing we
That's
should
a
say.
great analogy. It's an OS for your
planner.
It's like Linux for your notebook.
It's very open ended.
Yeah, it's a flexible planning and also sort of tracking system. If you want to sort of track, how much water have I drank, or it's really anything that you need out of a
first, huh?
planner.
Future first.
That's very forward thinking.
Because that's going to be consistent. Like, this is going to excuse me. This is going to be like one of the early you get to come back to it, right? Rather than putting it at the end of something.
Right.
Like, this is where you throw things that maybe you weren't able to
I
get
have
done
an area
with
at the back of this journal called cold storage.
Yeah. It's basically
Because I never flip forward, I only ever flip back. Because that's the whole point of the system is the most forward page you have is the most current one.
Sure.
And I keep Post-it notes in the back of mine as well, which I recommend. I'm gonna give May's gonna be red.
So then you can have interstitial.
Yeah.
Things
Sometimes it'll be in between, like, so we'll go, like, here was the date. I was keeping track of days. And then you could end up just having a bunch of notes before you get to the next week. And then what's kind of nice about that is it's its own kind of timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, when did I think of all this really cool stuff for Waffle Media? Oh, it was in between this week and this week because this is when it fell.
Oh, nice.
This is where it fell physically in my book. Since I'm always going forward, you're always
sort of
picking new
between
pages.
each month or week, you have this kind of nice container of here's the stuff that was important to me that month.
Yeah,
and I think that's why it's a journal more than it is a planner.
yeah.
It's a journal that you can plan in. May starts on a Monday.
Year of the Linux Journal.
Hey chat, what day of the week does May 2017 start on? You know what? I could probably ask Siri.
You can find it from your April,
Oh wait, no,
right?
I can actually find it
If-
from my.
If April 30th was on a Sunday,
Here's
then
a solid I did myself in the past. Boom. Okay, so May starts on the 1st. It's the 1st of May.
yeah.
1st of May. Tell you what, let's do. I'm gonna come back to this and I'm gonna start in on my future log. Seth, how you doing?
I numbered some pages and I have an index.
Crushing it.
Crush
And
and
now I'm
hit.
making jokes to myself.
I'm going backwards, and we're gonna make December. I'm
Okay.
gonna do that.
Yeah,
I didn't start December.
I did. Yeah.
I skipped all of November. Molly's gonna chide me about it later.
No, it's fine.
I'm gonna be in the BuJo hole.
The BuJo's.
BuJo hole.
And chat, feel free to like throw more questions in there or
Yeah.
comments or
One of us
whatever.
will occasionally look up.
Yeah, because now
remember.
you're just hanging out with us while we're doing crafts.
While we
We're
BuJoing.
craftings.
Yeah.
Crafts.
I like family setup time.
Yeah, no, this
fun.
is great. I'm all about this.
I wasn't really familiar with the layout of this. I have all these empty pages, which are great for like collecting Post-its and stuff.
Think of all the Post-its that are gonna be in there.
Post-its.
You get a little weak.
Yeah, I have
Some air.
a whole bin of. These are all my Post-its, all my BuJo stuff.
Molly is a Post-it god.
I'm a Post-it fiend.
I've-
More Post-its.
I've never seen somebody utilize labeling to such a
Yeah,
wonderful.
we're not going to turn the camera around, but my kitchen
No.
is thoroughly annotated.
Yeah, it is a wonder.
It's
Yeah, I'm
and
not turning that around.
No, we're good.
that's for my benefit more than anybody else's.
Danny Page says, "Gotta go, but glad to see your inspiration for my own journals. Gonna use the progress bars for sure." Awesome.
Oh, I
cool.
love progress bars.
Yeah, I'm really into the progress bar thing. I think
good.
I think I'm gonna start that.
Good, because you can just keep scribbling.
I have a really big project coming up that I could probably use some progress bars for. That'll be really good.
Okay, give me a Post-it note.
You Post-it notes?
Boom.
If only you could find one.
I know.
Plus, how do you carry your BuJo everywhere? I don't know why that upsets me. Just BuJo and that.
It's like
You carry your BuJo with you?
my BuJo is not meant to be carried.
My BuJo carries itself. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's this guy.
Do you,
Sorry.
do you carry it
Oh, no,
everywhere?
no, you're fine.
He's
I
cringing
had
at
to
us.
get an odd size to fit in my purse. Yeah, that can be tough. Like this,
Yeah.
this will not fit obviously in like my jeans pocket,
Yeah.
but it does just barely fit in like a coat pocket because I got big coat pockets.
And that's actually my thinking about. This is a soft cover BuJo, and I'm moving in from a hardcover one. And I don't know if you were with us earlier when I talked about I carry my day-to-day, what I need to do today. I guess that's what day-to-day means.
Yeah.
In a passport notebook. And you don't even need to do that. You could just carry just a straight field notes notebook in your back pocket. Like I know that's what our friend Tommy does. And I don't know if he's bujournaling or if he's just a guy that doesn't use phones. But with Tommy, it could go either way.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I have just like a quick reference. I have here's what I need to do today. I have a paper clip so I open right to it. If I go to the store, my shopping list goes in there, and I have little Post-it notes for like if I'm gonna need to send a package to someone, their address is on it, and I can just hand it to the lady. Like put this on a Post-it label, shipping label, please. And so you can buy just field notes, or the Moleskine makes any place you can buy a tiny notebook and.
Yeah.
And just kind of you sort of put your core bullet journal and your little thing in conversation with each other in case you don't want to carry one of these around.
I'm of the mind of like I can only kind of keep track of one notebook at a time.
Yeah.
So, but I also like generally when I go anywhere, I have my I have a bag with me that either has my laptop in it or has the laptop compartment empty. In which case, in both cases, really, this fits fine into one of those. But if you have a smaller bag, that maybe.
Well, and I think for me also, my core journal here, when I page back through, I use it a lot for reference and a lot for trackers. What do you need?
The ruler.
Take it. No, it's mine. Give it back. But like, but
Borrow it.
a lot of this bulk is just daily logs.
Yeah.
But I use this for like all these tabs are something I wanted to keep track of, and so I wanted to sort of decrease that bulk and get sort of more mileage out of. If I'm gonna, order it a German fancy dotted notebook, I want to use every part of that buffalo. And I never found myself going back to the dailies in the way I went back to the weeklies and the monthlies and the reference things. And so I wanted to just kind of move that mass into something I didn't feel bad, like either throwing away or just kind of ditching when I didn't need it anymore.
One thing that you can do if you're finding, one thing, like my plan for this, again, is bullet journaling during the morning or evening times or when I need to take notes or project plan for something. But if I'm out and about and I'm maybe just going to the store and I don't need to bring a bunch of stuff with me, then you can migrate some stuff over to either smaller journal or your phone. Like that's when that becomes handy of having that smaller checklist that you can kind of migrate over to it, instead of having the hard rule of always needing to have the journal on you for all times for all things. Like if it's just a shopping list, then just put it on your phone and kind of take that aspect of it with you.
If you're like me too, you can't handle anytime that there's a notification badge app icon on your phone, it drives you insane. So I really like if I'm out and I need to write something down real quick and I don't have a field notes or something like that with me, which often I don't, but I also don't have my bag, I don't have my journal, then I can just pull up my notes application or text something to myself or email something to myself, and then you get almost like a double bonus check mark off feeling of, oh, I have this thing and I don't want it clogging up my notes app on my phone that has 3 things in it at any given time that are my mileage plan number and other things that I need on hand, and so I can put that stuff that I wrote down when I was out into the notebook and then delete it, and that feels amazing. even if I'm adding to my to-do list, I get to remove it immediately from my phone, which feels awesome.
Okay, fam. I'm struggling a bit because this grid is of different proportions than this grid, if that makes sense. See, the little dots are a little bigger.
Yeah, a little bit more space there.
The thing is, here's a life hack. I figured out that this ruler is as wide as about 5 little compartments.
Yeah.
And so that's how I count real quick. And so
I've
lost about 2 dots on
one thing
each.
I did.
I don't know how to divide 38 into 3. How am I going to do that?
I don't know if you guys can see. The first page in my journal is there are usually 41 squares going from top to bottom.
Oh, wow, that's really good.
Because I needed to measure for stuff and I needed to be able to divide that. So, and the thing is because pages aren't perfect and the way that they crop them aren't perfect, they're never going to be. I had to be. They are usually 40 to 41. So.
Oh man, I don't know how.
Wait, how many are left to write?
Oh, I don't care. That can vary too a lot depending on where they bind it at.
Yeah.
So that'll be 19.
I put sort of open-ended tasks and either do this month or to do this week list. Yeah, that's the Therajill.
Oh, it's Tara. Hey, Tara.
Hi, Tara. That's what's great about this is that you have spaces for month, day, half year. Molly broke down a week, and I like that idea too. I would love to have a week section in my.
I have a lot to say about weekly spreads.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the weekly spread.
Corey asks, ever use a hipster PDA, which of course is the Merlin Mann invention of a binder clip and 3x5 note cards.
I don't think he invented that, but I appreciate the sentiment.
He popularized it, but I don't know. That's I'm sure he would even say I didn't invent that. Of course not. But that is the first place I heard it from, and I had never heard of that notion ever. That would certainly be a really nice field notes-esque kind of. Especially since you could take one of those cards and just slot it into your, or tape it, or glue it into your book if you wanted. If it were a permanent thing.
I'll be sure to keep it in my bindle.
Your artisanal bindle.
My artisanal bindle.
Right.
The stream got me organizing that stuff. No BuJo yet, but I got to clean up my current system. That's great.
Yeah.
Good. Yay.
And really, I mean, just the best thing about the bullet journal system is it keeps you actively engaged with it. And
Yeah.
you really, that's not unique to the bullet journal system. You can apply that to... I find myself applying that to other things just in my life, not even planning things. But, like, the thing about bullet journal is, like, if there's a space I need to remember this kind of thing, then I can create a little space in my journal for, like, yo, here are the errands you need to run. So you can do all your errands at once and not be like, oh, dang, I need to go to Fred Meyer 3 more times this week. And so I've, like, created spaces in the house. Like, I need to know where my cereal is, so that's where my cereal lives. And it's kind of spread into the rest of my life, which is bizarre. I've become, like, infected with organization.
There are worse things to be infected by, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever find that getting in the way of productivity? Like the notion of like that designing systems to make things more productive ends up detracting from
Oh yeah, no, I've
actually
absolutely.
being productive?
Tara and I have talked about
That's happened to
needing
me.
to set aside, like, here is how much time I will spend bullet journaling,
Yeah.
because you get addicted to the feeling of I'm gonna be so organized that you never actually get organized.
Yeah.
Um,
That's the thing is, I limited myself to a very small amount of time in the morning, which is why I think mine ended up being so, like, Spartan and sparse.
yeah, I see what I've done here. Okay.
But I've definitely gotten to the whole of I need to track all the things, everything, all the time.
Yeah.
And then you end up burning. Everybody has to kind of decide that for themselves on where it becomes counterproductive to continue taking notes and tracking on a thing,
Yeah.
and when you should just really just get to work on the thing.
Yeah, because it definitely feels good to plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels good to plan.
Because it feels like you're doing.
Yeah, it feels like you're doing. But make sure to do the thing. Make sure you have time to do the thing.
Okay. I'm really wigged out by this new grid.
Oh no. Why did I change the system?
Why did I change? I was perfect. Yeah, see, like those aren't even. January is going to be a stacked month, is what I've decided.
So what are you doing now with your line work?
This is going to be my future log. I like to lay it out vertically rather than horizontally because I like lists. I find columns are more conducive to that. And I actually, let me see if I can find a good example. I like the laying out just a big old ruler and calling that your month. Let me see. Yeah. So, like, this is December, right?
Yeah.
And so that's just, and so these little brackets that's my weekend right there. And
Yeah.
that's how I know how all the weeks shake out. Mini month, big fan of mini months. And so that's kind of, I want to make a little mini month up here, up top. Right. Oh, God, look at that. Well, it'll be fine. But yeah, so this is going to be my future log. Assuming I ever stop numbering this dang thing.
Kale says maybe use the extra little space for Martin Doodle.
Yeah.
There you
Or
go.
washi tape, which is
Or washi
actually
tape. There
a
you
cool
go.
suggestion. You just make a nice little, like, border.
Yeah. Wait, how wide is that? Is that 9? That's 9 wide. And this is the other thing is I'm like, it's a very good outlet for ADD because it's still the stuff I would do, but directed towards like getting things. I'm basically investing that time into me getting stuff done later.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna eyeball this. I usually regret eyeballing things, but I do not regret eyeballing that. There we go.
It's either that or you have to do math.
Yeah, and who does
Yeah.
math? Am I right?
So with that future section, like at the beginning, like do you treat that more as like aspirationally, like what am I going to be working on in February, or is this like?
I use it as an inbox.
I do the
okay.
same thing.
Like big picture style.
Well, because
No.
it's the hallmark of the system is you make sort of a list of here's all the stuff I want to do this month, and you sort out the this month pile into your daily, weekly pile.
Oh, okay.
But
okay,
then
okay.
if
So
you're-
it's the big part of the funnel.
It is, you know what it is? It's kind of like a little time capsule for yourself. Because if you're like, I can't do this month or this week or today,
Yeah.
you can throw it to the future.
Yeah.
You can, and I will sometimes make at the the last half of the month I will make next month's monthly.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
can start actually like placing things. But when you make a monthly, then you look at your future log and be like, what did I say I was going to do this month? Oh, this.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So
It's kind of sending a letter to yourself a little bit.
So when I do my breakdowns, I do my days. Whatever I don't get done in that day that I deem worthy to do later, I kick over to the month. and then whatever stuff I didn't maybe finish that. At the end of every month, I think he calls it migration.
Yeah.
At the end of every month, you kind of look through the stuff, your dailies, your weeklies, your entire month, on stuff that maybe you didn't accomplish, and then you kick that over into your future log. So you're always kind of like not, you may cross off a bunch of stuff and say, you know what, this maybe isn't feasible. Maybe this isn't a thing that I can accomplish anymore, or maybe I missed the deadline, or maybe I accomplished it, whatever. But then you get to kick it over and say, well, I can maybe do this in January, or I can maybe do this in March, and that's what your future log's for. It's the catch-all, it's the safety net of kicking things out that maybe you were either ambitious, or something happened, or didn't have time for.
Because the basic system is, are we on document cam, Ben?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's tasks, right? Here are my tasks. And so you mark stuff you got to do like that. And then if there's something you want to do tomorrow, you mark it like that. Like, I'm going to do this month, this week. If you're going to do it in the future, it goes that way.
Yeah.
If you complete it, you do that. And if it's not relevant anymore and you don't need to worry about it, you cross it out. Those are the basic... Like, you look at the symbols that I have, and it's just like this, I've elaborated.
It's a puzzle from this.
I've taken some liberties with the core system. But
the Witness DLC. Molly's bullet journal.
oh god,
can
you imagine like a version of her story, the game, but you just have to flip through my bullet journal and figure out.
Oh my god, how cool would that be though? As a video game, especially for like iPad.
Tumblr would love it.
Don't steal this game idea.
No, it's
write it in your bullet journal.
I'm gonna write it in my bullet journal. No, but the idea of like trying to figure out like a walking simulator, but it's just a reading simulator of you're going through someone's like extremely personal like diary and trying to decode their basically a macro version of in Gone Home, where you're like looking through someone's like 2-page diary entry, but instead it's looking through their whole journal from like the past year.
The same sort of immersive experience as picking up a random book in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: in a walking simulator, the experience you're having is you are walking, but in reality you are sitting with a controller.
Yeah.
If you are reading something, is that a reading simulator,
or
are
just
you
reading?
actually reading?
Oh shit.
I guess you're just reading.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But like the idea of interactive storytelling just by like deducing from, I guess like this has sort of been charted in stuff like House of Leaves and shit.
Sure.
But
I would play like a House of Leaves like VR game. That sounds rad.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's a reading simulator if by hitting a button the character turns the page.
And the character goes, "I understand."
They physically
Corey in the chat aptly says, "Those are called books, by the way."
I played this game. It was really weird. All I did was read a bunch of dialogue.
Guys, I think I came up with a new thing. It's called The Book.
Yeah, no, it would just be her story, but instead of the search field, you just have to try and decipher their index pages.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like a great idea.
It's like, oh no, this is actual detective work.
Okay.
You just have to read a bunch of
I'm
stuff.
gonna start.
Oh yeah, are you? Corey actually has a good point. Are you role playing while reading?
There you go.
If you're playing the role of a detective.
I just imagine like sort of Pokemon style. There's like, hello, I am the detective here, and I'm wearing Under Armour under
Detective
a lab
Pikachu.
coat. I'm Detective Pikachu, and sort of the little. Oh, so you found the victim's bullet journal. Scrolling along, you're like mashing A, like just let me see it. I want to see your spreads. Okay, so
Let me see that week view.
I goofed a little bit. So April is now called Arpel. So tell your friends. Arpel. Because I was like, oh man, well, I'll just do Arpel with one R, and then I went to write a P and I wrote an R again. So now it's Arpel. Okay.
You guys, this is the struggle is real.
It's
AAR pill.
It's gonna be.
Oh,
there it is.
Nah.
There it is. Oh,
now we're really fighting.
Look, it's my bullet journal, my rules.
That's true.
my bullet journal, my memes.
I had a perception of you, and that's been changed.
I'm laying out my soul for you here, Nick.
I know.
I'm singing you my heart song.
I don't know if I'm ready for it. Maybe I wasn't.
See, this is why my bullet journal has gone Super Saiyan and yours has not.
Yeah, this is true.
You'll get there.
This is true. I need a hyperbolic time chamber of bullet journals.
All right, so which Dragon Ball character is your bullet journal right now? is the question, Nick. Is it? Are we talking Yamcha?
No, I'm Yamcha.
Yamcha? Okay.
Yamcha. I'm Krillin. I'm Krillin. I'm inspiring, but I'm really not that.
No, I feel like mine is Krillin because it's died at least once.
Krillin's got the little bullets on his head.
Yeah,
so
he
got-
has a bullet journal.
Oh, wow.
He's bullet journal like
The one true
elite.
bullet journal.
How deep does it go?
That would be amazing if like you made a little key of symbols on like cross out one and migrate one this way, migrate one that way. Like
I mean, I feel like the front of this, I just need like I need a Krillin
that's
sticker
just your
to
key.
put on the front of
That's
it.
that's your legend of symbols.
That's your bullet journal symbol.
Yeah.
That'll be the emoji.
Yeah, my bullet journal's Frisia, guys. Back off. BuJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh,
Okay.
Get out.
Okay.
Get out.
Get out. Okay.
I thought we could be friends.
That was pretty good.
BuJo's Bizarre Adventure.
All right. Chat, how you doing?
They're doing great.
Nick has decided.
Yeah.
Next, you're
I
the chat Lorax. You speak for the chat.
by their silence, I assume that they are doing great. That's what silence usually means.
It either means that they're doing great or everybody is logged off all at once.
Everyone is making their own journal.
Frantically running to jetpens.com is where I got all my stuff, and I highly recommend it if you are
Jet pens?
Jet Pens.
This stream is brought to you by both Herbal Essences.
Herbal Essences and Jet
And
Pens.
Jet Pens. Hi, Leels. Leels is in
Leels.
chat. I get to see Lily soon. That makes me happy.
Oh yeah, y'all have that dinner thing.
Get them Leels, dog.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like, and that's the other sort of addictive thing about bullet journaling is every time I find out a way to write something out faster, I'm like, hey, a life hack.
Yeah.
That is not what a life hack is, madam.
Oh, girl, we gonna hang. We gonna super hang.
You better hang.
We better hang.
If I hear that you didn't hang,
I pity the fool
This is
that
over.
doesn't hang.
I swam to John.
I swam to John.
I saw somebody's name on Overwatch last night. What was it? It was like LeBray Joms or something like that. And I was playing with Jamie at the time, and I should have screenshot it.
I swam to
I
LeBron John.
swam
Come on
to
and swam.
LeBray Joms. Oh man.
Am I having a stroke? What's going on?
No, it's just us. It's not you. It's us.
Well, I mean, he's still maybe having a stroke. Let's not
Yeah,
rule anything
yeah.
I
out.
don't smell toast or
Okay.
waffles. So.
Man,
Well, whose fault is that?
Hold up both your arms.
we should go for waffles.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, you have a waffle at High Life though. It's very good.
Yes.
Highland
make
has a
a-
waffle now?
They make a fine. They have a
They've
waffle.
always had one.
They have a
always
waffle
had
slam.
I just always get the same thing. And
I
I
always
Where-
get the burrito.
Whereupon
Yeah.
you may be welcomed to the jam.
Yeah. What the waffles? It's like a waffle and
Eggs and yeah.
bacon or ham. Or
Oh,
something,
wow.
I think. Yeah,
That sounds
something
great.
Like that.
It's like all the things you want.
You haven't met? Have you not?
I have
you
not met Leels.
Oh,
I don't think I know Leels.
That's why I kept thinking like you had met Jamie, and I'm just like, yeah, I mean, like you haven't. That's right.
I mean, I
I
have
was
now.
like, you have now, but like at the time, I was like, you two would get along so well.
May.
Comes after May. June?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
June has 30 days, but July and August have 31. Is that correct?
I always alternate. So January, so
It's-
31, less than 31.
I always alternate.
less
That
than
may not be how it goes.
But
Yeah,
the-
that is.
there's,
It
there's
is.
a
That's how
hump
I
in the
do.
summer though, because it's
Oh, there's always
January,
a summer
February,
hump.
March, April, May, June. No, June,
has
July,
31,
August.
August has 31.
Yeah,
September
July and
has
August because
30.
that's the long days of summer.
Long days.
Yeah,
of
because
summer.
that's the trick I was taught. Is January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August,
August also has 31.
September, October. Yeah.
Okay. I think Widowmaker.
Ask
is
me about other
definitely-
weird tricks I can do with my hands. I can do multiplication for numbers of 6 and above.
Could Seth and Leels be the same person? Have they ever been in the same room? They haven't.
That's a fair point.
Well,
Although, technically, I am on stream right now,
Yeah.
and no one sees me typing these things, although I could have...
you could have a ghostwriter.
Yeah.
It's sort of
A chat surrogate.
sort of a Tony Clifton Kaufman
They
thing.
can't actually see your hand.
They don't know
There's
that.
there's a
Here's the other
Paul
thing.
Giamatti somewhere typing into...
They don't know this is live. We're just,
Did you say there's a Paul Giamatti somewhere?
Yeah.
Why is that your representation?
In the movie about the biopic about Andy Kaufman,
Oh, like
Paul Giamatti played the manager.
Bob's Muda.
Yeah, Bob's Muda, and Sorry, it was a deep cut Tony Clifton reference. I apologize.
It was a
Ben got it? Okay, cool. All
it
right,
was a
Ben
Man on
got
the
it.
Moon reference.
Yeah, it was a Man on the Moon reference.
If you get one person,
I was just thinking,
I really like that movie.
I thought that was just your generic term for somebody who ghostwrites.
Yeah, that's all. I thought you were thinking that
You
was
know,
your
some-
ghostwriter. Like everybody's
Some
like,
Paul
what's your
Giamatti
spirit?
type.
What's your spirit animal? What's your ghostwriter? Who would your ghostwriter be? Like,
Well, it'd be Paul Giamatti.
would it be Paul Giamatti? I don't know, man.
I saw an interview with Jason Sudeikis once where he talked about how he does a very good Chris Rock impression, but all he can say as Chris Rock is Paul Giamatti. Paul Giamatti.
I'd love to see
That's
that.
really good.
See, we have, I always use the 30 days, half September, April, June, etc. rhyme, though it gets problematic when you hit February. I also like the idea of like a child's nursery rhyme about the days of the month being problematic.
Yeah.
And like in the modern Tumblr definition, and someone writing an extensive call-out post about, ring around the rosy, huh?
Hashtags to hashtags, not all fall down.
I wanna just voice my appreciation that you end your week in the Saturday and Sunday instead of
Well, because I mean, I think all of us, like a lot of my work involves convention weekends.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I was making a weekly spread, I would have to leave on Thursday and then be back on Sunday, and it would just be all goofed. Mm-hmm. Just having a what is Sunday doing over there?
Why do we start a week on Sunday? That's just silly.
I don't know. There's probably
The only thing I liked about it is that it centers the week, like the Monday through Friday week, which is, I'm sure, useful for people who think in terms of the business week. But for others of us, it's not useful at all to have it, to split up the kind of work week.
It's called the weekend.
I've definitely made also, like, nice thing about Bullet Journal, I've made weekly spreads specifically to contain, like, if I'm leaving for Dragon Con on a Wednesday and I get back the next Tuesday, I just create a week that is Wednesday to Tuesday.
Sure.
So I don't have to.
Bengineering says, so for someone coming in late, what's going on here? That's a really good point, and something we probably should have addressed before now.
It's probably something I could have put on the overlay. We are answering questions about the Bullet Journal planner system, which we've described as kind of an operating system for a planner rather than the actual sort of hardware. I'm a seasoned bullet journal. Not really. I just really like sort of the granular.
She's the best at it.
I'm the most
Best in the biz.
Certainly I'm the most practiced, I guess.
That's true.
But we're sort of. Seth is setting up a brand new. He's done things
I should
close
show.
to. Yeah, let's bring you in here.
I don't have a lot going yet.
Here's our
We just
future
have this very basic index.
Index.
Nick's 41 squares trick,
Very
because we have
good.
the same journal. I've got an index here, and then we just have my future, like with jetpacks. And, and so that's set up for the whole year up to November, since I'm setting this one up in December. And
Yeah.
presumably, like by the time I get to November, it'd be time for a new one anyway.
Yeah.
Because I do like the idea of sticking with something long enough that I can finish it and
Nick,
put it
take
on
a
my
photo
shelf
of
and
this.
have it for reference.
Let's have a big old future log selfie.
Yeah.
I'm doing future log for the upcoming year because I ran out of months on my other one. So I like Molly's idea of listing, and I haven't done that yet. So I'm starting that. I'm going to write the days in later, but also just being able to kind of go down the list. Because one thing that I did notice with going horizontal was like you just did. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Boo.
It's
Hey,
fine.
these are like
I'll make it work. No. I mean, this could work like in like, subdivided.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
in
That's
two
what-
lists.
You could also.
that's the thing is what I ended up doing was going down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could have like tasks you need to do and then events.
Ooh, that's a
so-
really interesting idea.
Separate
Actually,
them.
that's really good.
And I, instead of like drawing, what I tend to do is instead of drawing like a line, I just do like a little tick so I know where the half point is, but I'm not confined.
Sure,
to...
I was thinking like a dotted or
Yeah.
something like that.
That's what I ended up here is I put hash marks 10 squares deep on each of these, so that
Yeah.
way I kind of have like a self-division.
Let me show you my favorite thing about my weeklies real quick.
Yeah, I want to see that.
So here's this is my desert bus, and I had like driver shifts and everything. These little ticks here represent meals.
Oh,
Because
snap.
I'm very food driven, and so I have like a list of like, here's the stuff I need to do before lunch.
Yeah.
And I've decided not to include breakfast because I should definitely eat. That should be my first priority.
Yeah.
So now they just have two little ticks, but like
That's clever.
before lunch, after lunch, before dinner,
So when you set these up, this is for
This
is 1 week.
Yeah. It's bam.
Dang it. So then you have a little mini calendar here.
I have a little mini and it's just the week
before.
prior, this week, next week.
Got it.
And this is just notes. This used to be, because I have to-dos, and then I have tasks, and then I have production and projects and chores and sort of different classes. And it helps me to sort them like that because it determines ahead of time what kind of focus it will require and how much, like, can I listen to a podcast? I can't listen to a podcast when I'm doing when I'm doing projects or admin, but I can listen to a podcast while I'm doing chores. And so I can kind of double up my time that way.
I'm noticing BLDs, that's breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and water. I have not really kept up on water, as you can see by the shrugging emoji here. I just need a different way to track it. This all just went to seed because I was at Desert Bus, and I even wrote, oops, Desert Bus. But then I have, this is what is going on next week, stuff I need to do next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then a countdown.
See, I like this whole area right here where you get to kind of like look ahead.
Yeah. And I bought these. Let me see if I wrote a page when I bought these highlighters. Maybe not. That's fine. Oh yeah, here we go. Boy!
Yeah.
These markers are mild as fuck, bro! And I'm still trying to figure out sort of what categories I need to break my time into.
Yeah.
Because I realized I need to, in addition to worrying about writing songs and then recording and publishing those songs, I also need to worry about promoting those songs.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make
so
like
little,
kind of like, what do I need to hustle this week?
Yeah, hustle is a good category.
So I'm just going to leave this because now I know where the bottom of each month is going to be. And I can, those are very, Seth, would you show off those dotted lines? Those look very nice.
Hang on 1 second.
Yeah.
I should know that August is 7th.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah,
Okay,
blah.
so
there we go. We have tasks on the left, and then events on the right.
So getting back to that's very nice.
Ta-da.
Look at you. I already kind of missed the grid. I'm not gonna lie. I'll get used to it. So, but to go back to Benjineering's question, the sort of staple of the bullet journal system is every day you write out a list of to-do, what you have to do that day. You know what to-do list. We know what to-do lists are, and it it involves you using a blank notebook and creating the planner that you need at that time, like at that particular day. And so as you look at your to-do items for the day, you check them off as you complete them, and then at the end of the day, you migrate them either forward into the next day or into the future. And so you go, I need to do this tomorrow, I can worry about this next month, I can worry about this, I don't need to worry about this anymore. And it makes you sort of meditate on what is actually important and what actually needs your attention. And it's a really good flexible system for creative types, people that are sort of self-structured, people that are like I have ADD and I like to doodle, and so it's really great for me.
Yeah.
And because there's, unlike a traditional planner, you make the pages that you are using and nothing else.
Yeah.
And so if you, like, you know, for Desert Bus, I didn't really use my bullet journal that week, and I didn't have a week of blank pages, you know, just kind of staring back at me when I came back to the system. And so it's very flexible and very forgiving that way. Oh, well, bullet journaling can't help you with your back problems, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
It can remind you to take care of your back.
Yeah, you could make a little reminder for yourself, like, hey, do my stretch over my yoga ball or whatever it is you do.
One thing that was nice too is when when I was training a little bit more regularly, running and stuff, like it was good to keep, you know, as that is keeping track. And I didn't have this book for that, but you know, anything that you kind of like need to keep track of or remind yourself of or plan or event. I like the sentiment that you only make the pages that you actually need. Like anything else that you add on is your choice to do so. There's no like wrong way to really kind of go about it.
This is gonna be January. What up?
It's the journal that you need and deserve.
Damn, you are. There we go. So this is gonna be. I've decided I'd like to break my month into 2 different spreads. And there's the thing that I found sort of daunting when I started was when you look up bullet journal on Instagram or Tumblr or even Reddit, people are very into their spreads and like, here's my weight loss spread, here's my, you know, water tracking, my sleep tracking spread, or my habits or whatever. And if that's a thing that you need and like to keep track of, then great, but it is absolutely not a required feature of the system.
Yeah.
It's a known feature, but it's not a bug.
It's like not everything has to have a gigantic spread. Sometimes you just need a little space for a little thing, and I think that's being flexible enough to have that.
And again, I enjoy making spreads. I find it relaxing in the way people find, you know, knitting or perler or whatever, in the way they find that relaxing. And so bullet journaling is good for me that way. It gives me something to focus on, and I like buying fancy pens and Post-its, and so it gives me a place to direct that.
Yeah, this is already like the next time I'm at Iwachimai, I'm definitely going to go into Kinokuni and
Oh god,
buy
I could spend so
too
much money.
much stationery stuff at that beautiful, beautiful store.
Yeah, I have a group chat going with some friends where we swap bullet journal strats. And the thing I've talked about is, for the first time, I find myself actually requiring certain shapes of Post-it. Like going like, oh no, my supply on the 3x5 Post-it is low. I gotta get out there. Can I order it? Oh no. Which is, I mean, like, back to school shopping was my favorite part of the school year every year. So it's nice to be able to direct that somewhere.
Tara says, I'm knitting while I watch this, and I love that.
For those of you out there that were commenting on like having bad handwriting and that being an issue, well, one, as long as you read it, then it's fine because you're the one that's going to look at it. Another thing is that one thing that I did to kind of improve my handwriting is have the grid. Also, I write in almost all caps when I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes it less scratchy and scribbly for me, and that's how I manage having legible handwriting. It doesn't always work great, and depending on the speed of the notes that I have to take, that's why I'm all up in your shit right now.
No!
Then sometimes it doesn't read as well, but
come on in.
it does worlds for me because otherwise, if you look at like other things that I have to take notes on that I end up just doing, like having to write fast, it ends up, you know, looking like this.
Yeah.
All the time, and
Oh yeah, and I mean, the spreads I have tabbed to show you, one, don't have confidential things on them, and two, are better examples of my handwriting than most.
Yeah, right.
Because I have lots of things that I have just straight up abandoned. Let me see.
That's a great page.
Oh yeah, so let me make sure it doesn't
Make
have
sure it
any...
doesn't have,
Yeah, no, this is, because this, I made a header for Sunday, and then I went to the fair with my friends Liz and Mac, and so I was like, well, I've already put a header on this page. Well, I guess I'll just doodle what I did that day. So, like, we ate fried food, and we went on a ride, and we met a yak, you know.
That's cool.
And that's a totally...
looks like Mac. Oh, my God.
Right? And we realized we went on this ride that whipped us around clockwise.
Yeah.
And realized if it had gone the other way, it would have goofed up our hair both, just royal.
That's really
There were goats. We made Max sit in a future chair, and he didn't like it.
Oh, what was the future chair?
It was like one of those like massage chairs that was shaped like a sunglass case.
Did you see the ones that were shaped like hands?
No, I
Yeah,
didn't.
they were like open palms. They were like that.
I am now sad to know of
Yeah.
them.
Nope.
Nope.
Back right up on out of that.
I did. I met a yak with Mac. It's true.
That's good.
I'm
Yakety Mac.
Mac yak.
Don't talk back.
Okay. How many weeks do I need in January is the question we must ask ourselves.
Well, if you
How many
it
times?
starts on Sunday.
Another
right?
good thing is to make sure that you don't have like a super bleedy pen, or if
I
you
actually-
do, like
You may
be okay with that.
Document Cam may have noticed anytime I highlight something, or do a line with a ruler, I go like this, and that is why.
Oh, yep, that'll do it.
Do you want me to get you like a napkin or something?
No,
like
I'm okay.
a tissue?
I'm
No.
good.
Okay, cool.
It's
He's
fine.
He's just gonna look.
It's like-
I've had that exact same problem with that exact
It's
pen.
totally okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I do reference back to past journals. I only have one journal at the Mo, but I have called this volume 1. And if let me get this card back up. So the system I have for referencing within my journal is I draw a little, like let's say 169, nice. And then I do that, and that's how I know. And so for stuff within this original journal, I just have a 1. So page 169 in volume 1. I also have a symbol for this is in an app or something. And so I do that, and then I go, to do, or clear,
Yeah.
or Tinder, whatever.
I have a to-do list in Tinder. Oh wait,
My to-do list is uninstall Tinder. It's a bad time.
Yeah, and
It's a bad time.
well, and this is brackets like this is my symbol for talking meta about stuff in bullet journal. So I'll be like,
It's the notes.
make these lines better.
I need you to be better.
That.
Just be better.
And so the next to like a task, I will be like, make spread for butts. And then that's a little arrow in like that.
Butt spread.
And that works for me. And I can't stress this enough. None of this has to apply to your use of bullet journal if you decide to adopt the system. And that's the beauty of it is you
The
can...
modularity.
The modularity. Great word, Seth. How do I divide 38? No, I guess 35. No, 37. So I've used up a... How do I divide that into 6? I guess first, what is half of 35? Okay, there we go.
Well,
15.
yeah,
Five,
gotcha. I'm gonna let you do it. You're
10.
good. You know what you're doing.
15 and a half. Nope, that's not correct. It's not 15 and a half. It is 17 and a half. Thank you. 5, 10. I got excited about counting. I got all excited about counting by fives. And then just forgot where I was for a second. All right, great. And again, feel it's worth stating. This level of precision that I'm doing does not have to apply to anybody else. It's just one of the parts of the system that I find pleasing.
I'm gonna slide this back.
I'm just gonna stand up is what I'm gonna do.
Get into it.
I am gonna get my back into it. So that's okay. Son of a biscuit. How do I? Oh, beans.
I'm glad we're friends. He's Somali.
What happened? You making a flip book?
No, I'm just numbering my pages.
Here, bring it over to document cam.
Hold on.
Pin that butterfly to the wall.
See, they're a little smudgy, but that's okay. 65, 66, 67, 68, nice. 70.
It's a shame that there aren't 420 pages in there.
Oh man,
That is a shame.
Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What if you just did?
I need a bigger notebook.
What if you did like
I need a 425
Contiguous-
page at least.
like if you had more than one bullet journal and you numbered them, like you didn't start at one in the next one, you just started out wherever
just
the other
kept
one
going.
left
Oh,
off.
yeah, you
I
could.
like that.
Yeah, and
It's
then
not a
just
bad idea. You can
publish
keep
them
a
in a
single
volume.
index.
Yeah. Eventually, just get the all the binders ripped off and
And
publish
on
them in one
on
single.
the spine,
Yeah.
you go like
One single
1
binding.
to
How the
400.
blazes.
20.
Okay, here's what I think I gotta do. Tell you what, let's do.
Moatman says, actually, you need to roll page 420 into a joint. And that's true. That is weed law.
I mean, if you is smoking that paper advisable?
Look, I don't make the weed
It's
rules.
doable.
That's true.
It's going to be a very smoky. as like just normal paper burns.
You've hit page 420.
Boo!
Please blaze this book.
Emphasis mine, but
Evil bad man. Okay, so what's after the future pages?
so then if you're going by just the base system, then you can go into monthly,
I'm going into monthly at the Mo. Mo
which
with the Mo.
is
Hi on BuJo. Corey.
BuJo.
And like, I'm making a grid. I prefer a grid, but the sort of Nick's got just a timeline.
Just a timeline, and this is like stuff that ended up getting. I didn't even finish writing what I was writing there. This is how spacey I get. Where's the tape? There we go. So the way that they describe it on the website is to literally just go down a number of the days, 1 to 30, 31, however, or 28, depending on your month, and then the day of the week next to them. And then on this line, you'll put things that you kind of have a future plan about, or maybe things that got kicked over from your daily that need to happen later. On the site, he emphasizes that you're not really doing a lot of future planning. You're more of pushing things that maybe you didn't get done on your daily.
It's just stuff that's getting deferred. Yeah.
It's getting deferred. Also, you leave a page open for any kind of like mass things that you want to just get done in that month. So by the end of this month, what is some of the stuff you want to accomplish? Do you want to write X amount of songs? Do you have to make sure you pay your Comcast bill, this, that, and the third? Or,
And I've definitely separated like actual things I do need to get done, and then just it would be nice if I could get you know.
Exactly. From that, then you'll go into Molly has a weekly setup, which something I'm gonna try to adopt, and after that is just your dailies, and your dailies look like this, and they're just the day of the week, the date, stuff you want to get done. And again, I said I used to categorize things by dots, squares. I use squares for like job tasks or subtasks, dots for things I wanted to get done today. Circles were like errands or events and stuff like that. So you can come up with your own kind of like index for logos or what's the word I'm looking for? Symbols that mean certain things. But for me, I just ended up making them all dots. And this is from October, and I never migrated this. But like Molly said, when you get to the end of a week or maybe the end of your month, you can kind of go back down this list and say, well, here's stuff that I did finish. Yeah, okay, I finished that. Finalized main overlay, finished that. So I should be marking some of these stuff off. For stuff that maybe got pushed out a little bit further, I can either put that into the future log there, like we did that way, or make a right arrow if I wanted to push it into the next month. Where's that little card that you had this stuff written on? Yeah, so this is how you organize your day-to-day and then decide on what things get pushed to what areas if they, for whatever reason, can't get accomplished. Because I think all of us can relate to the idea that we tend to write down a ton of shit that we're going to get done and end up maybe either doing it all or, doing 2/3 of it or 1/10 of it. Yeah, so here's where a bunch of stuff maybe got kicked over, or I tried to plan ahead about some simple things, asking about how to do an art stream. This is in October. Hey, look, Seth's birthday. I hope that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. My brother's birthday. I put a flight that was, boarding. These are things that I knew that were happening in advance, but because you're only doing the day, you're only working one day at a time, it doesn't have a space for you to kind of sit there and say, oh, here's what I'm doing in the next week.
Sure.
So that's what this is for, and what I'm hoping a weekly would be for me. A little bit more convenient because
it's kind of a bigger picture.
It's a bigger picture. This has only so much space that I can write in, and to their credit, they wanted to not front load you with a bunch of shit that you had to do to fill a journal out, right?
Well, and the nice thing about like this and kind of basically having a progressive calendar rather than something that is prescribed, and written out, like you're here on Sunday and you're like, cool, all right, well, there's my thing, and then Monday
didn't matter.
Cool. Well, that's all right because you pick up your journal Tuesday, and you're like, cool, we can just keep going.
Yeah,
you don't have to look at this big blank space and be like, fuck.
Yeah. So like in my,
which is why a weekly kind of weirds me out actually, because if that blank space gives me more anxiety than anything else about like having a journal or a planner or anything like that.
What's super nice is getting to the end of it, and this is a newer journal, so like getting to the end of like my old journal, I should have brought it. You get to see all the stuff you did in that day. Like when you get back to your monthly migration, you can look back and say, all right, well, here's a bunch of stuff I have to migrate or cross off, but look at all the stuff I did on a day-to-day basis. Like, here's all the things that I accomplished. Here, bigger, smaller events and stuff like that.
And by the same token, because I like to design trackers, and I like to, I'm really into progress bars. But another interesting thing, in addition to, this is the stuff that I was working on, this is the stuff I was prioritizing, I can see that in my tasks, but I can also see that in the trackers that I started and then fell off of.
Yeah.
I can see, oh, I thought I was going to do yoga every day. I'm glad that I didn't. Or, sometimes I'll go, oh, yoga. Maybe I should not be so ambitious with my yoga tracking, Sort of, it's surprising what little sort of insights you get about yourself. Just based on sort of what habits you keep and which ones you don't, really. It's all a big old flexible learning experience.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get back on your table. You want to see what you're doing?
I'm making some progress on my grid here. So I can divide. I have no idea. Because what I like to do for monthly grids is just, it's easier to divide a page into sections of 4 rather than get 2 pages into sections of 7.
Yeah.
And so then I just have kind of this bonus, what really should be a column, but I'm just going to make it here's what's going on this week,
Yeah. It's like a summary almost. Or
Yeah, or just this doesn't have to happen any particular time, but it should happen in this week,
sometime
please.
this week, yeah.
The thing I really kind of struggle with is when I make a multi-page spread like this is how much can I account for this spine being usable.
Yeah, it's like if you put anything in that gutter, it might not be a good time.
It's this kind of no man's land,
Yeah.
yeah. Your phone's blowing up.
What day is it today?
Wednesday.
The 7th. Okay.
The day of Wednesday.
Sand says, I do that with my to-do list on Trello, leveling entitled Get That.
I like Trello.
Molly's
fan.
a big fan of Trello. I slide stuff in a completed column, don't get rid of till end of week so I can see what I've gotten done. That's great.
That's a really good idea. You can mark cards as done in Trello now, which is a welcome.
We just got a bunch of hair in the shot.
Oh.
What? What's the problem? What's the problem, guys? Okay.
It's good hair. Yeah, good.
We got a front of hair coming in over the northwest.
A hurricane.
We're fighting.
Stream over.
We're streaming.
We're streaming.
Set your BuJo on fire.
You get you and your BuJo out of here.
I really don't like BuJo, but it's the most efficient in terms of syllables.
Yeah, BuJorno
BuJorno.
is funny.
Yeah.
It's much funnier, but it's
Okay.
harder to say. Also, BuJo just reminds me of like that Stephen King book that he wrote.
yeah.
while
Tell
on
you
coke.
what, I'm gonna retcon this
That
spread
was a
right
secret
now
to
and make it
BuJo's.
December because I need a December spread before I need a January one. December's gonna hijack January.
December overtook. They conquered.
And then I'm gonna make a little. This one's. Oh, you have the 03 and I have the 02. We're fighting. All right.
Oh, I have an O2. I'm writing with the O2 though.
Oh, okay.
The O3 is for big important things.
Make a little.
Skullcam's back. Good show. No, I'm just reading chat.
The bone zone.
Corey says, could shorten to BJ. Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, I gotta go home and work on my BJ. Sorry. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. There we go.
Is that just a big fuck you to?
I try to make progress on my BJ every single day.
Yeah. I BJ once in the morning.
I'm looking up some
when I go.
BJ spreads on Pinterest right now.
It's nice to. It's nice
Oh,
to.
here, don't worry. We're gonna link the BJ playlist in the chat.
There we go.
Molly curated a really good one.
I really like to BJ.
Songs to
before going
BJ,
sleep.
yeah.
It's important.
Here we go.
Songs to BJ.
I don't know. I don't know if they can see my little annotative detail there. I do what I want.
I do what I want. I'm December.
Fuck you. We're going back in time.
You have to go back.
Okay, so Wednesday. Okay, so let's make some tough decisions here. Let's.
No.
It's sort of like Bob Ross, but for organizing. One. Is Christmas on a Saturday this year?
Is it?
I don't know. According to me, it is, but like,
Oh, for next year?
no, this year.
This year? Wait, what?
It's a Sunday, I thought.
It is a Sunday. That's right, because that is
Yeah,
my Sunday
Sunday.
column.
Yeah.
Great. Did I make too many columns? Okay.
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes you need that extra column.
I'm gonna make it January. You know what?
There you go.
Eat a dick. It's January now. And actually, you know what? I found one of the most useful things about bullet journal is learning to lean into mistakes like this.
Yeah, and just double down on it, right?
Yeah.
You gotta go for it.
Yeah, actually, that worked out fine. Okay, so. We went and saw Moana at the.
Oh, how was it?
I mean, it's a Disney movie.
Okay.
And right outside was a poster for the next Guardians movie, and the tagline was just Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, obviously, and I thought that was a little on the nose.
Does it not have like a dumb subtitle?
No, that is the subtitle.
Wait, the subtitle is Volume 2, obviously?
It's the movie is
Volume 2.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Obviously.
Is obviously the tagline, or is it the
Tagline.
subtitle?
I think it's the tagline.
Might be
The subtitle is Volume 2, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I kind of love that. That's good. That's okay. Like it's good as a tagline,
Chris.
and I appreciate that it's not Gauntlet of the Silver whatever, or
got rid of the silver thingy.
Like I get that it's also Marvel, so of course it's gonna have a silly thing, but
it just it seemed to kind of rub it in, like, yeah, they're gonna make more of this crap.
I appreciate that.
Hey, by the way,
And seeing as how Guardians is
Oh, you love it.
the last Marvel movie I saw in theaters and had a good time at. That's not true. I saw the second Avengers movie and I had a good time in it, and then I hit the parking lot and was like. The parking lot test is increasingly becoming a thing with movies.
Yeah.
Where during the movie I'm like, oh, all of my endorphin triggers are being pushed.
I just needed to push those reward centers when I'm in the theater. Because Pacific Rim didn't pass the parking lot test, but I love Pacific Rim. I will fight you.
See, that one for me, I was worried, and then it totally did. I got out and was like, yeah, no, I know that was dumb, and that's why it was great, because it knew how dumb it was, and yes.
Yeah.
And now a sword.
and now it's
Okay,
silver, and
great,
now it's silver.
great. That movie's great. I have watched it since, and it holds up. And that's what makes... that
Everybody-
makes me so happy.
Everybody, while we're being real quiet, everybody in chat needs to go, I think, to mikefurman.bandcamp.com, maybe, and listen to his song called Not This Time. It's also on Flawfest by our friend Joseph Scrimshaw, and it is a motivational song about being a Pacific Rim, a kaiju, who is determined. I know that all the other kaijus who are literally identical to me got clobbered, but I'm gonna be the one this time. It's a great song, and Mike Furman is great. So.
Mike Furman is actually an illustrator that I really like too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Probably not the same guy, but
No. Maybe, I don't know.
same guy. The same guy.
The same hat.
I just dropped it in chat.
Oh, thank you, Ben.
Doing the Lord's work.
For one. Just gonna put that on there.
That way y'all in chat can have you can, I don't know, make a quiet version of it as a music bed so that we don't have to, so that our Twitch stream doesn't get banned.
Yeah.
But then you can have a music bed. Make your own music bed.
Gonna raise that city. When I say raise, I mean the kind of raise where you don't knock it over. No, you don't lift it up. Instead, you knock it down. Look, never mind.
English is kind of a funny language that way. When you have more than one mouse, it's mice. When you have more than one house, it's neighborhood.
I'm gonna add a to-do item.
Is that from the song?
No.
No, you're just making that up. You're
He's
just
just
freestyling
riffing.
good jokes.
Just freestyling.
I mean, it's a joke I've used
Okay, I'm
before.
gonna-
It's a
but
good
yeah,
joke.
To
I
do,
figured
reblog that hilarious
whenever I'm like
Justin
in my
Timberlake meme.
English is stupid.
When
That's
you
one of
have
my
one
favorite.
moose, it's moose. When you have more than one moose, it's smooth. It's still moose.
Still moves.
Wouldn't it be amazing?
More than one moose.
Oh, it should be neighborhood, the plural of moose. I'm calling it right now. Okay.
I miss moose.
I miss moose.
They're so cute.
And deadly, the best kind of
Yes,
cute.
that's my favorite kind.
Okay, so I've made a note for my future log to reblog that hilarious Justin Timberlake meme.
Cool.
Good. Got my priorities in order.
I like how you wouldn't just, open up Tumblr that day anyway and look at it and be like, oh, it's that day.
And not like I can just look it up now and then schedule it.
Yeah, you can do that too. But there's not as much satisfaction from that.
I need to hand reblog my memes. No automation.
I like my memes grass fed.
How do my... Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, no, here we go. My second December spread. Which I have templated out ahead of time because... Fuck the police, I guess. Okay. Okay. Let me know how much hair is on screen at any given time.
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're hairless.
What? How do you know? You don't know my life.
You know how I live.
Who told you?
The Monkman asks, I was AFK for a bit. What's the parking lot test? The parking lot test
good question.
is when you see a movie in the theater and you have a really good time. Well, specifically, it's the litmus test of when you hit the parking lot after seeing a movie in the theater, do you immediately go, then this happened to me the first time, this happened for me, and the reason I started using the term was seeing Prometheus, which I had a really good time with during the movie, like, and I was like, oh, I was like engaged, and there was cool audiovisual stuff,
and then you thought about it for like 2 minutes.
Yep. I literally, like, my foot hit pavement, and I was like, wait a second.
Wait a minute.
That didn't make one good goddamn lick of sense.
Hold on, that was a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. So if a movie doesn't pass the parking lot test, it means that within literal minutes of finishing the film, you're like,
can't even
wait
get to your
a second. Like, your enjoyment wanes that quickly.
It's how quickly is the spell broken by you going back into the real world?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it's controversial, but I didn't. I hit the parking lot test before the movie was over when I saw Guardians. I was like, this could have used some revision. They really could have given the script a couple more passes. It just like they sent it through the punch-up gauntlet without sending it through the story-shaping gauntlet,
I can see that.
Because it was just...
And neither of them were the Infinity Gauntlet.
No. Too many gauntlets. Just one. You just need one gauntlet. Too many gauntlets.
Too many gauntlets. Flex Scansion. Bill the Cat says, Prometheus, run to the side, damn it. Yeah, exactly.
Too many syllables. Too many syllables.
So what I'm doing here is I'm going to experiment with, I'm going to experiment with markers instead of pens. No, I'm making a spread to supplement my monthly grid because in my prior journal, which I've put over here for some reason, I tried to cram it all into one page, and that kind of didn't work. I would forget to include various elements. This is fine. So I knew I needed a grid. I knew I needed an index. I keep a mini index of the actual stuff because I don't put everything in my regular index. And so this is just everything I wrote in November. And I actually had a really good experience where I needed to refer to notes about a recording session I did, but I left my journal here. And so I called Ben and I was like, hey, Ben, could you get my journal? And he's like, I don't feel comfortable rooting through your stuff. And I went, no, okay, go to the tab that says November. Okay. Now look at the index. And he was like, oh, Vixie and Tony? Yes. And so this is next month. This is this month. I need this thing to be bigger. I made some meta notes here, which are basically like patch notes. And then my index. But I need a place for to-dos, and I need a place for goals for that month. And so I'm going to try and break it into 2 different spreads.
Or do a full spread rather than...
Yeah, because I have the grid, the scheduling spread, because I need to kind of separate scheduling from tasks, because they're different things and they need different things when I lay out these things. So that's what I'm working on. Seth, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm kind of adopting Nick's kind of more Spartan style. So I have this laid out with like some kind of key daily things that are coming up. Like my flight home for the holidays. We have Crimbo.
Gotta get that Crimbo.
Yeah,
Merry Crimbo.
Crimbus is coming, and then you got the start of the dailies, and that'll be nice to get that going. So what should I add next is the question.
That's your
is that kind of wide open? Like...
Yeah, that's your framework now. Everything else that you can think of that you may need to add, then just make the page for it.
Yeah.
Make sure you log in your index so when you need to come back to it.
Yep.
You have that little string that kind of comes your little
bookmark.
That always sits on the daily tab for me, whatever so I know exactly where I'm going, for that day. Just
No.
I think starting with starting small and then figuring out what you need as you evolve into it.
Yep.
And every new page is a chance for you to kind of like, okay, well, I can do this way now, and you don't have to retcon everything in the past. You're just evolving it as you go.
Yeah, that's
really nice.
That's pretty dope.
And I broke out into a separate thing for my dailies just because I used the bullet journal for so much stuff in between.
Right.
But that's just, I mean, the nice thing about it is you're actively sort of thinking about, like, what do I need from this planner, and what can I get out of it? What can I add? What don't I need to worry about this month? And so, like, that's why if this sort of separate sort of appendix for my month doesn't work out, then I don't have to make one next month. And that really just the development process is the part I enjoy so much. Is thinking about, like, how can I optimize this? How can I min-max this BuJo? So I'm gonna save this up. Oh no! Disaster! So this will be my index.
Oh my god, I just put 2 R's in April, just like you did.
Arple!
It's Arple.
Welcome to Arple.
It's canon now.
Like, I wrote A, and then I wrote R, and then I went to go, well, and I wrote another R.
Yeah!
And I
That's
just
exactly
did
what
it.
I did.
Did you hurt doing it?
I
You
did.
rapped hard.
I did rap pretty hard, yeah. I also kicked my water bottle over, so it was a twofer.
There's so much rage.
I
You
know.
get it. You understand.
I understand, finally. Okay, so I got an area for to-dos. To-dos.
Oh wow, we're at just past the 2-hour mark. On the
Really?
stream. Just a heads up.
How are we feeling?
Feeling good. Getting a lot of progress made. How's the chat doing?
Because I straight up, I live here, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will keep doing this no matter who is watching. BuJo, like,
we
nobody's
still,
watching.
we still have like 20 people in the chat. So,
Nice.
Or checking out the stream. So I'm down to keep going. I got more work to do. So
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna get started on my weekly. Actually, you know what? Let me start plugging things into my. Don't go for it. Why are you whispering there a microphone?
I don't know. I felt bad for not bringing my own pens.
You're that kid in the class.
I am. Hey, can I borrow a pen?
All the baseball teams I like are looking to be good in the next few years. That's really nice. That's great. My basketball team's looking really good, so I'm happy about that.
Mine's looking pretty good too.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 10-13. But
Hey.
you know what? Everyone expected us to be like 3-20 right now.
Yeah.
So
Losing Kobe was the best thing you guys ever did.
yeah, I mean, it was his time.
It was his time.
It was his time. He went out like only Kobe could. Go
Yeah. Yeah.
out. And now we got
He
our
wrote
good.
like a poem, right?
Huh?
It was like a poem.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, that's
wrote-
how he announced his retirement.
retirement, yeah.
But his last game, it was a home game against the Utah Jazz. He scored 60 points.
Yeah. People don't do that regularly.
Good for
In-
him.
It was on 50 shots, but still, it was amazing.
That's still more points than points.
Yeah,
I've
more
not scored
points.
that many points.
Also, we won. Like it was like our 12th win of the season. It was like it was a terrible season. But like for Kobe to win his last game and score 60 points at age 37 or whatever,
Yeah.
like impressive.
Kobe
And
was
very
37?
Yeah.
It feels like he's been an adult man for as long as I have been alive.
He
Yeah.
was drafted at age 18,
Yeah.
Oh god! Wow.
Yeah.
straight out of high school.
He was a boy. Seeing the variance in organizational levels is fascinating. I'm also not organized on a day-to-day, and this could help. Yeah.
That's
Flexibility is the strength here.
Seriously, the stream was giving me the boot up the star. I needed to get back to properly organizing stuff.
I didn't mean to get my boot up your star.
I was actually kind of looking for that boot.
I actually
Yeah,
I haven't
so-
made my boots where to put my boots spread. So
Molly and Nick had planned on doing this, and I was literally like, "Hey guys, can I also? Because I need to get organized." So,
and we were like, no, and you showed up anyway.
yep, that's exactly what happened.
Like, put this Seth here.
So what are we setting up now?
Right now, I'm rewriting in some notes and some stuff that I shouldn't be writing right now, but because I can't show it. But
I'm gonna see if we can widen the scope a little bit.
do you want to take maybe like a little 5 or 10 minute break and get some water and kind of refresh ourselves a little?
Take a little pee break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little.
Let me cut back to the. Where is it? Oh.
It's a little
The
stretch
thing I
break.
forget is that we are visible even when document cam is not on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna crop you in a little. What up?
Hey,
Look at that big tall boy.
I'm the tallest. I can't go any lower.
All right, yeah, we're gonna take really a 5-minute break
Yeah.
just to pee and stretch.
Pee, stretch, get some new water.
And then when we come back, our bullet journals will be totally set up. No, just kidding.
And...
Stick around.
Oop. Are we muted too? Just a heads up.
I have
Oh.
no idea. Hey.
And
Hi,
we're
friends.
back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
We've widened the bone zone a little bit.
I'm gonna.
Is that what this is now?
I am afraid so.
I did not sign off on this.
I think Chat has
Chat
has planted it in my brain, so really it's my fault.
Yeah.
But,
It's okay. We can still be friends.
yeah. So I am now trying to decide if I want to make my weekly or if I want to migrate. I think I should do a sit down.
I'm kind of working on a little bit of a weekly. I should come down here.
Yeah.
And then it's one of those things where like, oh man, I realize how effed up this is. I'm going to fix it for next week, which is great because
That's-
right now it's really messed up.
That's really nice. Actually.
I like the idea of still having the days in there, and I think I don't need that tall of a column. So these are things that I just want to kind of migrate over or plan ahead with. So let's see, Thursday, Friday, what do we got? I know I have stuff coming up this week, and now I have to think about it. So,
The worst.
and also writing in the spine is torture.
Do you want the rulers right next to you if you want?
Yeah, we're good for now.
You got.
Yeah, we'll get in there.
Yeah. I tend to just treat the ruler or the spine as just a line.
As a line, that's what I should have done. Instead
But
of counting the squares
this
out.
is the thing about it. Is next week you
Next week I'll have it,
Yeah.
dialed in.
you got your patch notes.
That's neat.
What are these goofs up to?
Yeah.
Hi TQ, we are doing bullet journaling.
Hey.
Bajorno.
Buongiorno.
I keep looking at chat, but okay.
Yeah, to talk to chat.
It's like if somebody's mouth is over there, but their eyes are over
Yeah.
there.
It's not planning. It's Bajorno.
It's what else is happening this week? Mostly that. Those are the big
That's
things.
pretty much
Having
it.
people, and then we have.
Oh, beans.
Oh, beans.
Ah, beans. Okay, well, you know what? Fuck all y'all. That's a column now.
Chateau Trujillo. I like it.
But you have to spell Trujillo with the same ending.
the same, yeah.
With an AU.
Trujillo.
So here's the thing that I do,
Ooh,
Go on.
nice.
which is
Bring that in here.
the thing that I'd done prior to like proper bullet or bujorning, bujorner truth, is for anything where it's like working on music stuff.
Yeah.
I basically do that in 3 stages where there's the writing like aspect,
Yeah.
which and then like a single slash will be like it's in progress.
Yeah.
Like I have, a chorus and like 2 verses done, but I need to work on lyrics or maybe it needs a B section or some kind of like bridge. And then tracking, getting all the instrumentation done for it and then mixing and so it works in
great.
those 3 stages. So that way I can be like, all right, here's like how many different things are because like the progress bar is a cool idea for
Yeah.
like something that is a linear path, like TV shows that you're working on and the stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like it's a little more circuitous or it's like the different stages kind of have their own mini progress bars.
Yeah.
And it can be harder to suss out, but
I'm looking up. Here it is. I did the exact same thing for the musical. So I have.
It's
I
gotta be
think.
like straight onto the camera, I think.
I think it was.
Put it flat.
I'm actually mainly showing you.
Oh,
But
that's fine.
This was a post-it on the back of my phone, and I can't remember. I had 4 stages, and I don't remember what the 4th one was. I think it was like an idea of what their song was for the show, and then lyrics, and then record, and then send to them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I would like make a little check mark at the end. So I was like, not only is this progress bar complete, but now there's a check mark.
Yeah.
So
that's
it's
nice.
serious.
One little thing that I used to do when I was just trying to keep track of things and not so much, again, this is pre-bullet journal stuff, is I had a grid or a dotted grid, very similar notebook, and I was doing Pomodoro at the time, and I would do 4 bouts of 25, and then I'd take a longer break, right, kind of situation. And when I was trying to document how long I was working on something, I would just make a square. So I'd go, okay, that's 1 pomo, that's 2, 3, 4 break. Okay, cool, that's 2 hours worth of work right there. And then I'd try to figure out how much time I was spending on something versus, or even just how much time to bill somebody for something. And that was kind of like my little.
That's really cool.
My little like simple symbolism, and I like doing squares. They're fun. Oh shoot, James _LRR. Who's that? Some nerd. I don't know. He's in our chat.
What is LRR?
Hey, what's up, Lur? What's he looking for, bud?
Oh, never mind. It's in Molly's hand.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I'm actually writing in trackers right now.
I suppose I should go to the ferry to get to the city that these people are in. You should do that. You should totally do that. Bye, TQ.
You can celebrate entering international data by watching our stream on the
There
ferry.
Thank you for joining us, by the way, if you're in the chat.
Welcome
and
to
have been
America
in the
in
chat.
advance.
Do hit that subscribe button. We got a lot more fun streams going tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think we have a
Ben
sub.
and I
We
are-
have a
I would
follow
love to
button.
do one of these again. if
Or
you
for
guys
follow
are
button,
down
sorry,
for it.
excuse me.
Yeah.
I know how Twitch works, I swear.
Yeah. And whether or not you guys will join every time, I would like to do one of these like at the end of every month.
That'd be
'Cause,
cool.
You know, whenever I'm
That'd be
setting
cool,
up.
like as a check-in.
Yeah,
Like-
we can kind of see where we all ended up.
Yeah, because there's there's a whole YouTube community of people like, oh, look at my spreads for this month, but it's just like one person going, hey, it's your buddy, and look at these beautiful things that
Yeah.
I did, and nobody really talks about it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no sort of compare and contrast. Like, here's the way I did it.
Yeah.
Full stop. You know, it's all. Because I will be bullet journaling regardless of whether or not it is on stream.
Yeah.
So, might as well use it as a ploy for attention. I don't know.
Everything I do is a play for attention, Molly. Everything I do.
Well, as a comedy singer-songwriter, I don't know what you could possibly be talking about. Ploys for attention. Pa.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
You write music?
I wrote a Thanksgiving opera. It's not an opera, it's a musical. Who's talking in between?
That's what the categorical is?
Yeah, that's why
Okay.
Hamilton is a hip-hopera.
Hip-hopera?
As is Trapped in the Closet. So Hamilton and Trapped in the Closet are technically in the same genre, if you want to split hairs.
Have you ever split a hair before?
Yeah.
Like, intentionally?
Yeah, with a shuriken. It was crazy.
I'm sorry.
We're fighting.
No, we're not fighting. That was great. That was a no we're fighting moment. That's a I don't want to fight with you moment. Because you can split my hair with a shuriken.
I wonder if Central Cinema's gonna just like play all of Trapped in the Closet at some point.
Well,
I feel like that'd be a
Sif
really
did
good time.
the...
Oh, they did? Good.
Yeah, we went. I bought a spatula. They were selling spatulas in the lobby.
Great.
And the best thing about it, the very best thing, was they began with a... Because I think it was episodes 1 through, like, 24 or something.
Sure.
It wasn't the complete arc, but it was a couple of the first sort of arcs. And they started with an R. Kelly slow jam party, which was just they played a bunch of R. Kelly slow jam music videos in a row. And so the first one plays and people kind of get up and they're like, oh yeah, and they're kind of dancing like this, you know, the way white people dance to slow jams?
Yeah.
And then there were 3 more slow jams, which these people who had gotten up and danced and committed to dancing were not prepared for. And so it was like, it was like watching a bunch of like little animals come out of their holes and then kind of slide. It was
Slowly
like, you know,
retreat.
everybody did the Homer Simpson into the bush thing.
Yeah.
But into their seats and kind of, they just slow jammed vaguely down.
Everyone became a reaction GIF.
Yeah, it was. They were punished for their hubris, and I liked that. I don't think that happens enough in the theater. I was going to say, speaking of which, I wrote a song about the Lincoln assassination, but I thought that might be a bad joke, and then I said it out loud anyway. The other thing I've noticed is the people that do the played with me bullet journals ostensibly have better posture than I do.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm way like, hey, well, let me just write down real close.
Some people like to show off.
I like what I call the hunch.
Yeah. The stoop. The BuJo stoop.
The BuJo curl.
It's probably good for some muscle group, but you don't know. You're not a doctor.
Try to make your nose touch your knees.
It's fun.
AKA working posture.
Okay.
The movie. The game.
Okay.
What kind of stuff did I want to do today? Okay, well, we're going to do BuJo stream.
Okay, great. Check
Nailed
that
it.
one off the list.
Nailed it.
We're not done yet. I can't check that off. Okay. We're in progress.
Just get that back. Right, where'd the ruler end up? Oh, thank you.
I ate it.
No.
It's in my belly.
Okay, so let me...
Super secret project that I can't show on stream.
We're going to have some questions.
I have some interesting people
Yeah.
on board already with this project. And since I'm not telling the stream what the project is, I can... It's going to be good.
It's going to be good. What are we doing today?
I was in LA talking with my buddy Luke from, he's the drummer for Onranaguchi.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned this project to him, he's like, I'm sorry, but I'm like, I have to be involved with this somehow. And I'm like, okay, fair enough.
This is great buzz marketing. I'm loving this.
Yeah. It's called planting seeds.
Great. I'm going to play video games today, so we're going to do that. That's going to be on my list.
I'm gonna play some Dark Souls is what I'm gonna do.
We're going to play some...
Are you?
3.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
I started
the
playing-
DLC?
Yeah, I played. Well, I haven't played that yet, but I just I only played through Dark Souls 3 once, and so I wanted to.
Hair canvas back.
Yep. So I wanted to kind of start again in earnest, and I am really enjoying myself this time.
Which one is it? 3?
3.
Nice.
Because I started a pyro, and
I started a pyro.
there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of like
Started the
metagaming
whole
but
world
basically,
burning.
it's not a difficult
I
class to
couldn't
start with, at least to
see.
get through very early stuff. But then if you
As the
grab,
flame
You have to do
was
that.
on me.
I'm gonna throttle you. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna really enjoy every time you die tomorrow.
Yeah, so if you feel like it's
God, that sounds ominous.
Every time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna enjoy watching you die tomorrow.
tomorrow
buddy.
from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. To maybe around 5. We're gonna
Probably around 5. We're
Yeah,
gonna
so-
cut it a little short because we got some. Charity
the charity dinner.
Got some
So,
nerd prom to go to.
So about 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow on twitch.tv/Waffle Media. Ben and I are gonna do round 3 or part 3 of our Dark Souls
Oh yeah.
of Garth Marenghi's Dark Souls.
Yeah, you were trying to.
I'm almost to
hobble
Blighttown.
the rat, the
Yeah.
hobble.
Yeah. I have to try and kill Hovel, and then I think it's on to Blighttown. No,
it's,
there's more stuff.
Lower undead.
Lower Undeadburg. Okay.
So
And
you...
then Blighttown.
Okay, cool.
And I'm sorry.
How many depths is he on?
27.
good-
I think I'm on
26 or
27.
27.
Do you guys green screen the background of you?
Yeah.
You should put the death counter like
Just a text file.
text
Just
file.
delete one.
Like underneath.
Right now we have a clipboard with a big bright fuchsia,
I can do that.
neon fuchsia
Have you seen the
piece of
board?
paper, and
Yeah,
then
I've
just a
seen
big Sharpie.
Yeah.
And I actually kind of like that.
It's really good.
I enjoy it, but yeah.
Yeah, he enjoys it. I bet you do.
No, but in 3, there's the Astora Straight Sword. Like there's basically a weapon you get in one of the first areas that if you infuse it raw, and it is a extremely powerful early game weapon that you like. Raw has no scaling. It's just bam, huge amounts of raw damage. And that's the drawback. Is as you get more powerful, it basically is a much weaker weapon. It won't scale with you. But early on, it's really great because it takes you a while to get to more pyromancy. because you have to go find the books and like hand them over to the dude that will teach you the stuff, and so that kind of helps balance out. So I've really been enjoying it, which is to say, it's just been feeling really good, even when I've just completely gotten murdered.
Cool. I'm really excited to get to 3, mostly just because it's a, on modern hardware, kind of modern console generation kind of.
I mean, it's gorgeous, and and it's actually like I think
It's actually much
3's
easier to
got
write
some
this way.
pretty solid level design in it overall.
Look at my handwriting's on fleek
even
right now.
even if one is
man.
the most
You're so
cohesive
good.
world,
Yeah.
like
I should've been
three
doing
has
this whole
really
time.
solid level
You
design.
figured it out.
This table's been in my house
and-
this whole time.
And the quality of life changes to it are significant by
It's
that point.
I enjoy you talking about quality of life changes in a game where you are literally a hollowed out dead person.
Oh yeah.
Is that what you are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're technically supposed to be responsible for rekindling the flame of life.
Oh, okay.
It's like
So basically the plot of The
this-
Lion King.
This cycle that lasts eons and comes around again and again and
biscuits.
again, but it is like
Come, dead soldier. All of this that the light touches is yours. You'll notice it's very dim.
hair cam from 2 angles.
Hey,
Ah,
hey guys, how you doing?
do the hand on chin. Like you're resting it, but you're vertical. Like, hello.
Hello. It just didn't see you there.
I just rolled the other night. Rolled credits on Pokemon Moon,
Oh, cool.
which is I like.
No
I
spoilers.
burned through it,
Yeah.
but that
No
was
spoilers,
about
but-
40 hours.
That's
Like for the main story with not too much dawdling, but I tried to take my time a little bit more than like I think
More than,
I
like, Power
cruised
Rushing?
through Pokemon Y in like 19 hours.
Wow.
Like it was a much shorter game, but there's a lot to do in Sun and Moon just in the main story, and holy damn, that is my favorite Pokemon game now. Like,
wow.
like they've done. I still need to go back and play Black and White because I hear that the story in Black and White is actually really good, and I skipped that gen.
You mean Pokemon Black and White and not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, not the Peter Molyneux
not the Molyneux game.
game.
Yeah,
Black
because
and
there's not
White.
really a
Not really a story
in that.
there.
No, you're
It's
just as a
more-
god game.
It's
yeah.
more emergent stories. The best thing about Black and White was there was a site where you could submit stories about your creature,
Oh wow.
and it was just reading other people's stories of the weird, crazy shit that their creatures did
That's pretty
because
cool.
it learned different lessons than what they were trying to teach it.
Mm-hmm.
Like with one of them, I can't remember how it came about, but basically he was trying to teach his monster to like not poop on the townspeople or something like that.
Right.
And instead, for whatever reason, it smashed a hole in the orphanage, and then proceeded to poop in the hole.
Huh.
So, like in the roof, like it just made a huge hole and then turned around and just pooped into it. Like, and yeah, one of those things where it's like, I guess potty training didn't quite work out the way you wanted it to.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really, really, really enjoyed Pokemon Moon. That was
Yeah, I've been enjoying Sun,
was-
and
it
I'm
was super good.
I'm only on like the second island. I don't have nearly as much playtime.
the quality of life changes are just so fantastic, and
The
by
fact that you can do basically the like Pokemon care to alleviate status stuff.
oh yeah,
Just
it's
like,
great.
without
You don't
wasting
need antidotes or
consumables.
anything or any of those unless you want to use them in battle.
I like the head. I like the head
And
bop
it's
on
just
that.
so nice,
Yeah.
like to be.
It's
in
always
a
there for you.
dungeon and like, oh cool, my guy got paralyzed or is burned or or something
and
like
to
that.
Just wipe it away.
Well, and I never did any of the Pokemon Ami stuff in X and Y.
yeah,
Like I did it the one time in the tutorial when it's like you can do this, and I'm like, okay, but why?
yeah.
And Avery yelled at me for everything. He's like, what are you doing? Why would you not pet your Pokemon? And I'm like, you monster. And he's right.
He's not wrong, yeah.
But in this, just by virtue of, you get to the end of a battle if your Pokemon took
Right.
enough damage or got a status
Or
effect
they
or something.
use like sand or something. that-
Yeah, it's like you press one button and then it goes immediately from the battle into that like Pokemon care
Yeah.
thing, and you can sit there and you're like, yes, of course I'm gonna rub my Snorlax's tummy because Orson Welles needs love.
Yeah. Actually, he needs 3 whole plain chickens. Oh, sorry.
Who doesn't though? Like really?
The French.
Am I
have
That
a
was a story
saying.
from my film history class about like when Wells was. I think it was actually when he was shooting Touch of Evil, but like kind of complaining about craft services and stuff because he was ostensibly on a diet, you know, and he's like basically, you know, that you all get to have all this and all I get is chicken, plain chicken. And it's like, yeah, but if you do eat like 3 of them, then it's not really a diet.
I love Orson Welles. I want to.
It's a good name for Snorlax.
Someday.
I'm kind of sad.
Not
that you beat me to
Snorson
it.
Wells.
Snorson Wells.
Snorson Wells is even better, except Orson Welles just barely fits.
Yeah.
Like, you'd have to abbreviate.
Okay.
You could just call him your good Snorson.
My good snoring boy.
Sweet Snore Boy.
My sweet snore boy, for sure. Okay. So my week is shaping up pretty good. Time to get back into the squat.
Get in that squat.
Get in that squat. That squat. So, how's your... Oh, you're still on your month.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, no,
kind of figuring out what the things I need to get done by the end of this month are.
Yeah, take your
Well,
time.
can you hand me that ruler?
Absolutely not. Here you go.
Also, do we have a highlighter anywhere?
Well, these are technically all highlighters.
Let's see what we got going on here.
They're mild as fuck.
Where'd you get these mild as fuck highlighters?
Jetpens.com. They're Zebra brand mild liners,
Ooh.
and they are mild AF.
I love the zebra, just like, what is it, the silver pens?
Yeah.
Those
I
are
haven't-
still good.
I haven't
Still
tried
so
those.
good.
JetPen sells a thing. It's like $20 for like, I want to say they're 10 top selling pens. It's just like, hey,
Just a sampler?
just try them. Yeah.
That's actually a really cool idea.
Yeah. I've been tempted, but I have enough pens in my BuJo pen family.
Your pen.
Yeah, because this is kind of a ragtag bunch right now. I think I need to, because this used to be packed to the gills with all of the guys from the box that I pulled up earlier. So this thing. But again, they don't travel super well,
Yeah.
and I found myself kind of going like, well, I can't write that down right now because I normally write that in red. I write tasks in that,
Yeah.
and it was just like holding me back.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's just like a forfeit. If it's like, well, I can't bullet journal right now. I don't have the correct pen. That
Yeah.
defeats the whole purpose.
I
And it was-
really just have the like big fat pens that have like 6 different color cartridges in them.
They used to sell on, it was like a bundle when you ordered a Hobonichi. And they were like nice like gel pen too, not like garbage biro
Oh, wow.
ink. Yeah, and, like it was like kind of a fine tip. And I have one of those in the house somewhere. I don't know where it is. But I need to decide. So I've got my, that's my this week, and this
Yep.
is meal tracking. This is my
And then
next
next week.
And I've kind of crunched in, I think I need to make a weekly that is something like this. Maybe not so big. But something to, like, I need something where I can pick from my monthly to-dos for like the this week to-dos and then distribute them accordingly.
Like things you want to get done within the week.
Yeah, because that used to live down here.
Yeah. So what's
that's
going to
what
live in
this-
this side column here?
These are just notes.
Gotcha.
Here I have like my addresses for Desert Bus, and sometimes I keep like a breakdown of like, a project that I need to do this week. But first I'm gonna make this pretty.
I actually need to start getting wrapped up and packed up and
Okay.
going out of here soon.
I should too.
Okay.
I got a pup that needs foods.
Okay. Well, that's more important.
Yeah. But not right now, but so we can keep going for a little bit.
Yeah,
But just
okay.
as a heads up.
Yeah, just let me know. Yeah, I think once I'm done, I'm not gonna really fill in my spreads on stream. I think, but I've got.
For sure.
This is all I need to get started, really.
So go over your monthly because we didn't really talk about like the way you do. Your
Oh yeah, we
monthly,
were
so
talking
that's
about Dark
really
Souls at the time. So,
cool.
so I've decided to.
All right, so what are you gonna put your souls into? Like Mondays, Tuesdays?
Well, this is I think my Souls column.
Yeah. Soul call. Yeah. The shrug souls.
Little Shrug Souls. But yeah, I've made grids. I'll go here and go through the old one. I have grids that are a whole page, and I have in November I tried a half, which
Yeah.
is like just uselessly tiny. Why would I do?
You can't
something?
write anything in there.
And so I decided I'm gonna really just treat myself and go
Go for that spread.
full hog. And so this is for actual like scheduling, and this is kind of my all week. Anytime this week, do this thing column.
Yeah.
So I've got Stream, Child's Play Dinner, and Rogue One, and then Christmas. And I think that's all the important stuff for December.
You got it locked in.
And then this is my second spread. So I got a little mini month, so I know what day everything is. I make the distinction between to-do items and tasks because, like I said, my sort of barrier for, the reason I procrastinate is not because I get lazy, it's because I get anxious about all the stuff I have to do.
Gotcha.
And so, to-do items I mark with a square, and like a square checkbox. And those are like, as soon as you start doing them, they are done. Like, change out the toilet paper and feed the cat, check the mail. And then tasks are things that I have to set aside time to do, like, a larger, like, tidy up my office, do laundry, that kind of thing.
It may be a to-task.
A to-task.
A task that has multiple to-dos in it.
Yeah, and like projects, and I have a little, I also figured out how to draw a tomato, just a little.
Yeah.
And so that's a task that requires like Pomodoro timing.
Yeah.
And this is my index because I want to keep. What I did in my other bullet journal was I wrote down every dang thing in my index, and it made my index unusably crowded.
Yeah.
And so for each month, I have an index of here's stuff I wrote down this month in case I need it later.
That's a good idea.
And if it's something that like I will truly use no matter what month it is, then I can put it in my regular index. But if it's a project that I worked on that month or whatever, then I have...
Sure, because like your dailies for, whatever month isn't necessarily something you're going to go back to from your main index and need that information there. Ashton brings up in the chat, man, I played the hell out of those Soul Columnar games.
Soul Columnar. That's good.
That was just really funny. Good job, Ashton.
Very good.
So you have errands as well. Errands are like kind of go out and
and
do
I
a
think
thing.
I might split this column into two different... I don't do that many errands in a given month. But I have in my old BuJo. These are when I was using these pens, I split my stuff I needed to do into hustle, admin, which is like answering emails, errands or outings, production, which is like studio time, personal, enrichment, because otherwise I would not watch TV ever or listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
So I called it something productive.
Yeah. You make it sound like it's a job. There you go.
It's mandatory that I keep myself enriched. If I'm going to contribute to this culture, I must also partake of it.
Yeah. Oh God.
I have the symbol for Ben is Gandalf's symbol because I knew how to draw it, and I was like, yeah, Ben's pretty Gandalf-like, sure.
Yeah, I read that.
He's
Gandalfian.
Yeah, and I just as soon as I acquired a complete spectrum of pen colors, then I was like, you know what? Not those pens anymore. You know what? I did it. I mastered pens.
Yep, we're done here.
But yeah, and so I have little symbols for like everything. I have a symbol for like, here's what an errand looks like. Here's what editing looks like.
That's great.
So I can kind of visually gloss over. This will be like where I keep projects, like, like you said, like tasks that have other to-dos kind of hidden in them. Sort of a complete breakdown of those so I can break them up and distribute them over my weeks. These, I'd like to start tracking, like, did I actually read anything this week? Did I read the news on purpose? Did I avoid Twitter for a day? Did I drink all the water I was supposed to?
Yeah.
And I'm still kind of, I've used the back, like, maybe 10% of this journal to prototype things for this one.
Yeah.
But I want to be very cautious about migrating things over that I ultimately won't use, because then it's the same problem that this one had, where it was a bunch of dailies and a bunch of spreads that I never followed up on.
Yeah.
And it made the whole thing kind of bloated and unusable. And so and maybe I'll just have trackers here, and then who knows, notes or like, I could fit one of those little like Polaroid Instax things in here.
The thing is, like, you think about the top of that, that's the month. Like, okay, the things that you want to track on a monthly basis, maybe that's where those things go. Like the bigger,
I might even have
the longer.
Because I've written like just a quick thumb through. There's Post-it notes all up in this bitch.
Yeah.
Like and I like using Post-it notes because I don't have to carry this whole journal around to get a one thing. I'm like experimenting with like the sort of analysis paralysis of like, okay, I have time to listen to an audiobook, but which one? This is my outbox for stuff I gotta migrate into here.
That's great.
These are prototypes that I'm still working on. Like, and I have experimented with, I have a stamp for like, this is good, this will go in the next one. Like,
That's great.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
And
we need a whole video series of you breaking all these down. I think.
yeah, I mean, I need to go through. I made a post-it note of when I started to watch Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I wrote down what I knew about Stranger Things just from osmosis.
Yeah.
Before. The upside down, child with short hair, and a number for a name, spooky. A wall with alphabet and Christmas lights, bitchin' logo sequence, and Winona Ryder loves Christmas lights. That was all I knew.
That's all you knew. Yeah, you need to
felt
postmortem.
That's most of the takeaway from that
that's
show.
right.
Yeah,
That's
but-
what I remember.
But that's the hallmark of the bullet journal system is if you feel like writing something down, you are now justified in writing it down. If in that moment you think it's important, you now have a place to put
And
it.
you don't have to be ashamed about it afterwards.
Yeah.
You can, but you don't have to.
No. Not all bullet journal people have to show off their journal on stream. It can just be
It
your
can
little
be
secret.
for you.
So yeah, I think we're ready to wrap up. I'm gonna actually move in my tasks and stuff,
Yeah.
but my spreads are done, mostly. But this was super fun. I'd be down to do this again if you guys are down.
Yeah,
Check in,
maybe we could
maybe early
schedule
January.
When we need
January.
to set up our next months and weeks, we can kind of talk about our progress.
I like
good.
it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
Okay. Cool.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it.
Be sure to
Thanks.
follow.
Like, follow, subscribe. No. What you guys got a stream tomorrow? What time are you gonna?
3 p.m. Pacific time.
3 p.m. Watch Seth die a whole
Dark
bunch of
Souls.
times.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be real fun.
You doubled your
Might be a lot
death
of those
count.
front-loaded
Yeah.
too. 'cause
There might be a lot of
yeah.
Havel's kind of he's a bit of a bear.
Yeah.
But you know what? I felt like I had some momentum going in, so that'll be a nice little warm up to the episode.
Yeah.
So please do join us.
I might. I'm gonna still think of a regular stream that I want to do for us on a weekly basis too, since we're starting to ramp up a little bit more. But I have some ideas,
They'll be
and
coming.
I'll be talking to Ben a little bit about some of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Make sure you slap that follow button, and we'll see you again tomorrow with Seth and Ben. And maybe next month we'll do some more bullet journaling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Journaling. That's
You
a
can
really
s-
hard word to say.
Be a bullet journal.
Bullet journal.
Learn how to bullet journal.
Journal.
Well.
Thanks for hanging out, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.